All right, everyone, welcome to Chaos Chamber. Long delayed, missing the big one last week due to my account, but I'm okay with it. So this won't be quite as long, quite as good, but we do get Rusty back for Siddle and no Siddle by committee, so I'm excited about that. We pick up immediately with a battle. Excited about that too. And I think this is going to be a good one tonight. Now, I say that as I was fully prepared for everything that I expect you to do, and it should be amazing, which means you guys are going to do absolutely everything differently, so I make no guarantees for anything that actually comes out of this session. You may spend the next 3 hours after the battle just chatting next to it, sitting on these damn gargoyles. I don't know. So we'll find out.
That's what I planned.
Yep.
So with that said, let's just go ahead and get into the recap and start playing. Last time we played, we picked up with the party having just had a heart-to-heart at the tavern at night, itching for battle a little bit, and so a few members making their way towards the nearby inn and tavern, in which they found there was a bit of a fight club in the back room, should they know the right password. Meanwhile, staying behind, Warwick, meeting with Silverin to have a little also one-on-one heart-to-heart in an attempt to get his what's that?
His holy symbol.
His holy symbol, thank you. His holy symbol, trying to talk him out of it, putting up a hell of an argument, and finally convincing Silverin that it was the best option and had him hand it over. At which point the majority of the group then went and joined at this fight club and got to watch, and instead of a one-on-one, it turned out that Grizz and Amrook decided to go tag team it, and not against each other as was initially planned, but instead to track down two willing and able enemies, shall we call them, good opponents that would put up a battle, and the place sizing up another Goliath who is bodyguarding the door at the time, as well as a dwarf, and in a fairly significant battle in which Griswold looked ferocious, and Amrook actually was, coming out victorious, and taking the other two down, bloodying them, earning some money for just about everyone along the way too, actually betting on Grizz and Amrook, having seen what they can do in the past. Picking up a little bit of nuance from around Warwick after coming away victorious from his holy symbol search, picking up a nice elderly waitress that was pleasant to him, and taking off. But at that point, you guys made friends with one of the previous losers of the night, Asug, a large, basically humanoid-ish creature that appeared in some orcish minotaur-like fashion. Inviting him over to the table and chatting with him a little bit, and finds out he's had a little bit of a rough time, came in to make a little bit of money. Unfortunately, his losing efforts did not do so. But as he was down on his luck, the party invited him to join. First thing the next morning, and as you awoke the next day after leaving the place, there he was, bright and early, waiting for you first thing in the morning. And with that said, there was some ongoing decisions about where you would go, what you would do, some talks about Silvery Moon later that day. However, as you prepared to leave, a ruckus outside, and exiting this inn that you were staying at for the night, you came out to see what can only be described as two behemoth gargoyle-like statues, but instead of sitting still where you would expect them to in their perch, they were slowly, methodically moving, crawling along the gravel outside, through the trees, chasing some of the local patrons, wreaking havoc in the general square. And as you've exited the door and seen this particular scene, that is where we stopped. So that is exactly where we'll pick up. And as I don't yet, but once we get started, we will pick up with a roll of initiative. And with that said, let the chaos ensue.
Woo!
So you guys are on the map screen. Let me bring you on over.
Oh, I can't fucking wait. Watch Griswold roll super low.
Oh man, look at these things.
Oh,
I have a black screen.
Of course you do.
Always.
Hold on one second. I was making some little tinkers here. I must have
trust
taken
tinkers.
away your site by mistake.
I am also black screen.
Oh man,
I
I got fired.
You are
Fired
too, Reed?
from the group.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's
Since
right. I've
it's-
been here and I'm still fired from the group.
Since it was morning and I claimed that I was going to cast Inspiring Leader every morning, did everybody get their 11 points? Did we record that?
I added it.
You didn't record it, but I did plan for it, and you guys had plenty of time to do so. Reed, you don't have vision. That's weird.
I don't need it. I just start swinging wildly.
All right, Althea, can you see?
Yes.
Althea, do you have vision now? Okay, Siddle, do you have vision now?
I can see my character, but I do not have.
I was gonna say I have Siddle's character as well, so I don't see even with Siddle. So I have Siddle and myself here, but that's it.
Okay. Super weird. 1 second. You guys both do have vision. Why isn't it coming up? Everyone else can see the entirety of the screen, right?
Yes.
All right. One super quick second. Unless maybe your characters got pulled off. Here. Nope, you should have it there. Everyone, 1 quick second. I don't know what happened here.
As you're determining that, Garrett, as everyone as we come out of this here thingy-mabobber of the doorway, everyone's always noticed that within about 10 feet or so of Griswold, you feel that you have a better shot of overcoming an obstacle. To an extent.
Like ball
His
bearings.
aura, except for ball bearings, yes. And that's his aura of protection. As you all were coming out and you all are surrounding him, like we're all in kind of a grouped area, you not only get a sense of that same protection, you get a sense of courage, of bravery within that 10 or so foot area around Griswold. Like nothing can frighten you regardless of what's going on.
There we go. I'm good now.
I am too.
Even better.
All right. I don't know what that was, but I'll take it with the reset.
So
All right, sorry. Continue, Grizz.
No, so as everyone's around him, he if you catch him in the right light, you might even sense another aura. As we have leveled, Griswold now has aura of courage, and within 10 feet, you cannot be frightened unless you are. You cannot be frightened unless Griswold's unconscious.
We were to level, right?
Yes, level 10.
Yeah. So.
All right, so new plan, knock Grizz unconscious.
Yes, exactly. Let me
Is
roll
that a new
again.
plan, though?
No, it's always
Yeah, usually it's kill Grizz.
Yes, exactly. Let me change this
Same
to an
effect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does he
Yeah, one or
really
the
do
other.
anything anyway?
No,
Well, his
no,
aura does now.
I make for a good laugh. That's about it.
Ooh, Warwick rolling high today.
All right, for everyone that has, go ahead and roll for initiative.
Yeah, I reset mine to 8, just to get me in there. Oh shit, those gargoyles rolled good. Damn. All right.
Yes.
Okay, Garrett, calm it down, dude. Jeez.
Oh, we haven't even begun.
Yeah, I know. I have a feeling. Fuck. Right.
And everyone pick up here. So as you guys pop out of here, tearing out, you see these things preparing to rip out a couple of trees. Town folk running. The one on the top left reaching towards one of the nearby town folk, fleeing as he does so. Everyone taken a little aback by these things. Ooh, missing.
As they pick up a tree, I'm gonna look at him and yell, "I dare you!"
Siddle looking. Did you roll?
Would
I did, but before I had visibility, so let me just add
Oh,
myself.
oh,
would we recognize these as creatures or controlled by magic?
Give me our con check.
I'm gonna put in my original roll.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense to me, so I'm good with it.
They seem like stone creatures. They look like stone. You feel the thumping of their weight like stone on the ground. So near you, they are dull. They have no reflection, and yet they seem alive and active. So they move like creatures. So it's tough to tell. They seem to be both from your perspective.
Oh
Okay.
my. It was,
There we go. All right. Siddle, your honors.
All right. Do some measuring here. I haven't done this in a while, so let's just drop a fireball right in the middle of these fuckers.
Fucking A.
Middle of town. I like it.
Yep.
I didn't ask how large the room was. I just said fireball.
Yes. That's fantastic. We're starting off strong.
All right. Deck saving throw.
Oh, I didn't realize our friend's in there. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, Swoop's with you. He was there. He was ready to go. He's here to play.
I like
That
it.
motherfucker's about to die.
So both saving their saving throws. The fireball lighting up the town. And what level were you casting that at?
Just third level standard.
All right.
Can you tell us
Catching
how many
both of them.
Yep, catching both of them.
died?
Any carving?
Carving around this tree so I don't like burn down the town center, I think. And then any friendlies that are there, but
All right. So, I got the wrong one. That's all right. That'll do. All right. You are carving around any friendlies?
yep.
All right. With that, you can capture them both. Wasn't going to prompt you, but you got a friendly back there, so it didn't singe him. So you managed to carve around him. We're both taking a decent amount of damage. You see the charring on the stone. The tree actually coming out pretty well. No issues. You managed to protect it. A little bit of steam coming off of it from the early morning dew, but that's about it. What is that? 25 points of damage. All right. Yeah, you see it singed. Doesn't seem to slow him down much.
You said they saved, right?
They did not save.
Oh, they did not save. Okay.
And that will conclude my turn.
Unless they move forward, I'm gonna.
All right. Roll 20. You got some lag on me today. You were fine in practice.
As of right now, everyone but Keldrum, Amrook, and Siddle have a +1 to their saving throws, and they cannot be frightened. As of movement, as of where we are positioned right now.
That's right. I can't give you a secondary aura. Sorry.
No, you're good.
We'll work on that. All right. Anything else, Siddle? Any movement? Anything else on your turn?
No, I'm gonna camp out right here.
All right, Keldrum, you're up.
If I remember correctly, we heard these as I was in the midst of drawing up a teleportation circle.
This is true. So you didn't necessarily say you were running down, but
I look at the chalk in my
continue.
look at the chalk in my hand. I'm like, damn it. Guess we're gonna have to wait for home. And I rush down the stairs and rush out the building and see these things. And you know what? I'm gonna open up with. Let's do a little. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. No, I'll just do second level. I'm gonna do second level bless.
Noise. Noise.
And that will be Griswold, Amrook, Althea, and Reed. I'm going to assume that I'm back here.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to adjust as thoughts around the screen, but I think I kind of assumed you guys all ran out and spread out, so it wouldn't be too far off. But since you came out last, that makes sense. So you're doing a bless. Got it. Grizz, how big is your aura?
Both are 10 feet radius from me. 10 foot radius from me. Yep.
And that would be my turn.
All right. Asug comes out, sees these things. You see him hesitate for a moment or two. Kind of looks around at each of you as you're taking this in. Realizes, looks tentative, but you see him shrug a little bit, almost look up in the air, a little half prayer, and he takes off running.
As he's
Jumping around the
like,
fountain.
show us what you're made of.
Seems to get a little more courage as you do that. Oh man, is this lag brutal.
How do you spell his name?
ASUG.
ASUG. Okay.
Alright, he's going to get right up on this thing with his run. And you see him bust out this mace that he's carrying. Fairly beastly, intricately carved. And he's going to swing it like a man that knows what he's doing. Seems to have worked his way around this thing. 21, as he does so with the first one, swinging brutally hits the leg of this first gargoyle, one of the four. You see a small chunk of what almost appears to be rock/flesh pop off of this thing. 14 points of damage. Swinging a second time with it. And with the healthy legs and a nimbler movement than you would expect from a creature like this, you see it jump out of the way, unable to hit. But the first one connects. And he is there. Reed, you're up.
Move 45. Take a shot with the short bow. I can't do that. I can do that. 15 to hit.
Wait. So
double that one.
you got a 15 to hit. So firing off the arrow, this thing hits the gargoyle and bounces
That's-
off your.
That's the
wait.
damage.
Yeah, wait. Why didn't it roll? Hold on.
Hold up.
Yeah, it just rolled sneak.
Yeah,
Piercing damage. Yeah, you're right.
I noticed that as soon as you started talking, and then Eric also started talking about how that was just.
Sneak.
Yeah, and it was a 4 and 5, so you wouldn't have rolled in that one anyway. So you go ahead and just re-roll. That's weird.
There you go.
16 to hit.
Much better. All right. Still arrow hitting it, shattering the shaft a little bit. Perhaps doing a small dent, but doesn't seem to do any damage. It does not notice it. Doesn't even look at you. It is distracted from tearing out this tree as a Sug attacks it. The arrow, nothing more than a gnat to hit.
Then I will move up to here.
Did it do damage?
It did not. Nope.
Oh, okay.
I just
For all intents and
essentially-
purposes, it was a miss. I was just adding a new twist to my description.
Okay.
Oh, in that case,
So it's not
Ryan,
like it-
Ryan, you have bless.
Add that D4,
That has
brother.
to be before, correct?
What's that?
That has to be before I roll, right?
Mm-mm. No. That's anytime you attack.
That's 1d4, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, give me the roll. That may change it. That will have an effect.
18 to hit.
That does have an effect. Your arrow
Woohoo!
hits and still bouncing off. However, you see an area of darkened, almost like necrotic type damage. It's not, but it appears as such on this bruised skeletal skin. So pulling the damage, that would be 11 piercing. So 28 points of damage.
Woo-hoo. Yay, bless.
That's it for me.
Cool.
I'm staying where.
Nice job, Eric.
Even after where I thought I missed, I'm sticking where I am.
All right. And you do have a house kind of beside you. It's just off the map, but you're basically right in front of their porch. Warwick, you're up.
Nice. All right, Warwick's going to see the two gargoyles. He's going to run up, and he is going to jump up on this bench and give the gargoyles both the finger. He's going to cast a blow on both of them. It's going to be a DC 16 wisdom. What is it? Yeah, DC 16 wisdom save.
And neither will save.
Nice. So they have a -2 to AC and Dex saving throws. They can't use reactions. Their speed is halved. And they can only make one melee or ranged attack on their turns.
All right.
And then there's a whole casting a spell thing, but let's hope they don't have spell casting abilities. And that'll end my turn.
All right. Mother fudger. Hate it as much as Fog Cloud.
Dude, that was gonna be my next bet, man. If a Zoog wasn't gonna run up in there, Fog Cloud. No.
All right. So the one right next to a Sug is going to. Oh, you bastard. He's gonna come in with one of his mighty stone arms. You see it raise up, and in a fairly quick attack, comes smashing down like a club onto a Sug, and that is not going to hit on the first one. A Sug, a little quicker than you expect, managed to duck out of the way, deflected a little bit with his mace, just enough that it kind of scrapes down the side of his body. At which point, this gargoyle is going to slowly leave the ground, and with a mass, it does not seem right that you see him leap upwards. And as he does so, he moves about 30 feet into the air, prompting an attack from a Sug.
Oh, 30 feet
Which-
in the air, and his speed was already halved.
That it was.
60 feet.
Whoa!
Not able to hit with the reaction attack, though. He's a bit taken aback as this massive creature leaves the ground.
Yeah. This is gonna be great.
This is terrible, and then I get to make a wisdom saving throw at the end of my turn. Doesn't save. And so, second one is going to take the opportunity, the townfolk right behind him, preparing to swing once again with this crushing type attack. You see its massive stone arm come up, make a fist, and prepare to come straight down on the townfolk. That will hit, and in doing so...
Silvery barb.
Okay.
I'll throw another finger at him.
And as it comes down, preparing to hit, you momentarily distract him, having to make a second roll, correct? Yep, D20, take another swing at her.
And then I'm also going to give Amrook. Oh no, you can rage. I'm gonna get Griswold. What is it? Advantage on his next attack.
Giving Grizz advantage.
Thanks.
All right. As it does so, still coming down, connecting with this townfolk, and you see him just very unflattering picture of a mash of, and you can hear the bone cracking from afar on the other side as he collapses in a heap. And he is going to start tearing this way on all fours. You see him running like a beast of some type in your direction, charging towards you. Sorry, he can get to there. You can feel the thumping on the ground, the weight, the mass of this. The pond next to you, you can see ripples forming as it does so, small waves sloshing. And that is the end of his turn. Althea, you're up.
Okay. I'm going. Yeah. No. Wait, where is everybody? Nope, can't cast that. Every time, guys. Ray of Frost. This one.
You have plus.
Plus a D4. 4. So 19. Right?
19 to hit, and 19 will hit.
Right. I'm not really sneaking. I don't think you would consider that sneaking. So 8. Might have to move closer.
You can't sneak with a spell.
Yeah, magic doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. It's just automatically clicked.
Yep, just going to take that off. So
Knock it off.
8 points of the cold damage. All right.
Just for safety.
You see a small frost form on this thing. Doesn't seem to affect him too much, but...
Is it rolling? It's not rolling.
What's not rolling?
Oh, I'm pushing the wrong one. I'm having a moment. I haven't played
Yep, you do got to hit the buttons to make it roll.
I was clicking the wrong button to make it roll.
All right, you're hiding behind the tree?
Yeah. I'm hiding behind like this, whatever this is.
Got her. Grizz.
This one on the left here, did you say it was running towards us or flying towards us?
It is running. It is on the ground, tearing towards you, running with all fours.
Even
In
better.
a charging type stance. Seems to have his eyes affixed on Warwick.
Warwick, did you cast slow on both of them or one of them?
Both of them. Did you re-roll for the second one, G?
I did.
Okay.
Griswold's going to use his 30 feet of movement to run up to this to get in front of this gargoyle. Griswold's going to walk up like all, doing his stretches. Not today. And I'm going to whop out my my halberd, and I'm going to fuck this guy up, or at least attempt to.
Nice.
We're going to do the first shot, 24, 13 points of radiant damage to the first one.
24 will hit.
And I'll come back with a second one.
You have advantage.
And bless.
Ambulance.
I figured
But it still hits. But you might want to roll the advantage just for a crit.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll the. Shit. Okay, it'll be the first one. It was the 18, not the 30.
Oh, balls.
It was the 18. Yeah, I know.
Damn.
All right.
I rolled that wrong. Yeah, still 23 points of damage. To smash this guy.
23 on the second?
No,
No,
just
just an additional 10. I got you.
Yeah, 23 total.
Coming through with your halberd, 2 quick hits, and as you connect with both of these, Grizz, you can feel the toughness of this beast, and you can see it almost seems like stone is chipping off as you beat this. It's either very hard skin of some type, but you are chunking this as you do so. Not just, you don't see blood by any means.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that'll end my turn. Shit.
All right, Amrook.
Traditional fashion, I'm gonna running leap, come up behind him,
Nice.
and we're gonna try and rage.
All right, give me a con.
Plus.
Is that a save? It's against saving throws as well. All right, let me roll a d4.
You'll still get it since, yeah.
All right,
And you manage to tap into the rage.
with that, Grizz on the other side. Let's start swinging the butcher.
Nice. Both sided.
Yeah, it is slow today. 19 to hit. 14 points of damage if it does.
And with one leg, managed to get out and just beat your butcher away, deflecting the first one. Second one coming through, though, however, not able to react fast enough.
Oh, I had
Rage.
D4s.
Or Blitz, I mean.
Yeah. I'll roll them both. It's
Oh,
just
you get
real
D4s on all of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's just real slow for some reason.
Yep. Yeah, okay, first one will connect then as well. You managed to connect on both of them. Also, similarly seeing what Grizz did, taking chunks out of this thing, seeing cracks form as you hit it. So,
Yeah, that means the second
20,
one.
22.
Uh-oh.
What'd you say, Keegan?
I think that means the second one saved. His AC is that high. Second one saved, I believe. Not bad.
This bonus action movement. That's it for me. If I could have a couple words, I'll just say these guys seem to be stoned.
All right,
Stoned.
Siddle.
They're stoned or they
They're
are
stoned?
What?
All right.
Give me some of that shit. Well, I'll work. Yeah,
So,
could be Warwick. Or Scandal. Purple, not a sponsor. Yeah.
and they are too far apart for a 20-foot circle, right?
Yeah, they are exactly 20 feet apart, so you would not, you would just miss both if you exactly hit it. So you got to shift to one or the other.
All right, I'll go to the one on the right here. This guy, and we're gonna hit him with Shatter.
Nice.
See how his rock does to that. So he's got disadvantage on that saving throw, assuming he is stone. Oh, not a lot of fucking
Con
damage.
save. And
That's really my three.
does not save the disadvantage, giving him the nat 1.
Ooh, 2 1s on that.
Double damage then.
So, hold on real quick. Let me see. All right, good. You see the rumble through this thing, Grizz and Emerald. You can feel it rumbling off of you. You see some powder shaking off a bit. And still standing, it looks mean. Grizz, despite the fact that this feels stone in front of you, you can feel the heat coming out of its mouth. Damage will show here in a second. Sorry, I got some lag. All right, anything else, Siddle?
Nope, that'll do it.
Rusty, which one did you hit? The one on the left or the right?
The one on the right, over by Reed, not the one between Amrook and Grizz.
Oh, sorry. Ah, son of a... My bad. All right. So nothing else, Siddle?
Nope, nothing else. That's it.
Caldrum, you're up.
Cool. 5, 10, 15, 20. You know what? I'm going to follow suit. Step up on the bench like Warwick, give a look over to him, and I'm going to bonus action that cast yep, spiritual weapon. You know what? That's spell slot at 3rd level or higher. No, I'm just gonna cast it 2nd. I'm gonna put spiritual hammer right here, or spiritual weapon. No, yeah. Actually,
All right.
He's in the air, right?
He is about 30 feet up.
Yep. So it's going to pop up underneath him, not beside him, underneath him, and it's gonna swing up and try to hit him from underneath.
All right, so it's coming up right under there then?
Yep.
All right. Coming straight upward.
One. That weapon. Crap. Where's it at?
It's 26 to hit.
Oh, 26 hit.
No,
Sorry. Yep. Ignore that roll.
All right. Coming straight up underneath. He never sees it. You don't see him react at all. Manages to catch him squarely, hitting him underneath the belly. You see some pieces raining down next to Asug.
That was my bonus action, and then for my action, I'm going. Son of a gun! Closed out my character sheet. 1 second. For my action, I'm going to do Toll the Dead. As soon as my character sheet comes back up. Yeah, a little on the slow side. Just a little. There we go. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
Wow, that's some damage.
Does not save.
He will take 20 points of damage, necrotic.
What is that? Toll of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's some damage.
Next
cantrip,
level,
right?
cantrip. Next level, it's 3d12 or 3d8.
So 20 points of damage. You see black slowly stream through some seams on this thing, easing away at it. You almost see it. It almost drops a hair in the air as it does so.
And that is my turn.
All right. Sug, staring at this thing, seeing this magic weapon appear, initially tries to take a swat at it as it appears underneath, missing luckily, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But standing underneath it, looks over, sees that Grizz and Amrook seem to have things well in hand. Looks underneath the tree, looks over Reed, decides he is going to get into a bit of a battle formation, runs over here since he can't reach, doesn't have any ranged weapons. And he is going to kind of stand in front of Reed in a protective method and ready his mace. All right, Reed, you're up. You still have visibility. You kind of have a protective shield right in front of you now, too, with a
Stupid son of a bitch. Gonna go in.
How high is he up? How high is the gargoyle up in the air?
30 feet.
21 to hit, 11 points of piercing if it does.
He's up in the air.
21 will hit. Once again, the arrow hitting, deflecting off, but you still see points of shattering, kind of spider web out from where you did, where you hit. That is 11 points, you said?
Yeah.
Did you mean to go with your short sword, or were you...
No, I meant to hit
bow?
The short bow.
I just didn't know if it made a difference in damage or anything.
No, it wouldn't have.
No matter then.
You get a similar there, so yeah, that would still hit.
+1 points of piercing, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
All right, I'm gonna add an extra one in there. 12 points of damage. And you would still hit with the adjustment. Yep, cool.
And then I'm gonna move back. That's it.
All right, Warwick, you're up.
So as I'm looking at these gargoyles and seeing like stone and everything fly, did I notice anything about like their eyes, or is there any type of aura, magical aura, maybe given off by these creatures? These stones?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, it's magic. Oh, perception. Not perception. That 20.
Nice.
So looking into their eyes, you see the movement. However, they look dead behind them. Even their eyes appear not so much glassy or reflective, but almost formed, constructed more than anything else, rather than alive. You don't see any aura coming off of them, but they just look inhuman, unnatural, off. They seem in some way unnatural in their movements. You certainly recognize that there is something beyond nature here.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a shot then. I'm gonna look at the one that on the right, where the spiritual weapon is.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna cast dispel magic on it.
Gee, I swear to God, I didn't tell him.
All right.
Did I miss something?
No, I had whispered to G earlier I asked what would happen if someone casted Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Because obviously I can't, so I was just curious.
Oh, hold on. That's supposed to be at. Sorry, I meant that at level 4 and not level 3. My bad. Hold on.
You're casting that at level 4?
Yeah, level 4. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna recast. Where'd it go? Shit. Yeah, there it is. And sorry. Boom. Now we're good. Now it's level 4. Sorry.
All right. All right. Casting it momentarily, this thing hovers in the air, turns to look at you. As it does so, it seems to stiffen, seems to harden. Any movement that you see in the eyes momentarily freezes, and slowly picking up steam, you see it drop from 30 feet to 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, crushing the ground, indenting. You can feel the rubble spray in every direction. You can feel a rumble in the ground as this thing hits with immense force, cracking in multiple areas, legs flailing in different directions, and it seems to be nothing more than chunks of stone on the ground. As you look, you can see the remnants of this beast as it once was, but otherwise,
This
nothing.
is bad. This is bad.
So looking at the group, I'm gonna say, there's an enchanter here. Be careful.
Anything else?
That's it. I will. You know what? Just for shits and gigs. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a bonus action. I'm gonna throw a bardic inspiration. Fuck is it? Over Amrook's way, and that'll end it. That'll end the turn.
All right. You can hear a low rumble within this gargoyle next to you, Amrook and Grizz. It, in a normal creature, would sound like a growl. Now it almost sounds like an echo in a cave deep in the bowels of this creature. You see it snarling, and yet the unnatural movement of the face just seems concerning and ominous. And as its eyes shift to both of you, you see each leg begin to move, and in rapid speed. First, aiming at Grizz. 27 to hit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Cool.
Barely.
12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well, you just knocked out my temporary hit points, you fuck. Alright.
Second one to Amrook. Once again, another leg lifts and goes after it. 10 to hit, missing. Amrook seeing and preparing for this, knowing what happened to Grizz. You managed to leap out of the way. Grizz, you get your shot now, and there it is. All right. With the 19.
Hit D4.
Yeah, I'm rolling it. It's just lag. Come on.
Yeah.
Roll. So no, sorry. I'm. There we go. Waiting for it to roll. It's 21 to hit.
You managed to just barely connect with this thing. Attempted to leap out of the way behind you, almost sensing your shot, but still connecting. 13 points of radiant damage as it misses on Amrook. As you do so, coming back to you, a third leg, Grizz, swinging for you. Nat 20.
I will. Hold on. Where's it at? Hold on. Silvery bar. I can cast that even after I know it hit. It's legit.
You can, and it's a reaction which you haven't used this round yet. So, yep, you can use it. All right, so it's got to roll a second time to replace it. And so it'll be the first one. 19, which I don't believe hits, Grizz. All right, missing on that one, luckily.
Nice.
The fourth
Thank you.
leg twitching now. Amrook seeing it coming, swinging to your direction. 18 to hit.
Hits.
Will connect. 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Reduced to 5, or is that you already half it?
Yep, reduced to 5. You're right. I forgot about the half. And seeing that you look relatively untouched, this thing is going to turn to you, and you see the massive jaws opening up. You can almost hear the cracking as its jaws do so, and its entire head coming down, attempting to latch onto your shoulder with this massive bite.
Five
And
hits. Holy
27 to hit,
shit.
and that'll be 26 points of piercing damage normal. Do you still get the half on a second attack?
Yeah.
Because it only applied once.
'Cause-
Yeah, it's everything, right?
As long as range is up,
Everything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all of them. Okay, so 13 points of piercing damage.
Well, do you know that Garrett said there's one of 4, right? That's on stream. Garrett said one of 4. Just so we all remember that.
Did I say 1 of 4?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Yes, you did.
But what
All
are you
right,
saying
I'm
about-
gonna say it.
I got a ton of dispel magic. We're ready.
All right, and with that, he's gonna hold his ground. Yeah. Now you know what? Looking over, he is gonna wrap around you, Grizz, and he is gonna attempt to run towards Warwick. Amrook, opportunity attack.
Nothing
Have
I
you
can
used
do.
a reaction yet? Nope.
I'm gonna assume that hits, so 15 damage.
That will hit. Taking a solid chunk out of the back, out of his rump, for lack of better descriptive, and you see a small chunk of stone staying behind it.
Do we see his eyes like fixed on Warwick? Like, would we?
You can
recognize
see it. His face and his eyes are fixed. He goes tearing towards it, and he is gonna hold there. That's all he can do.
Got it.
All right, Althea, you're up.
Ready. Can I see him from where? Oh, well, never mind. I can see him.
Yeah, he's 10 feet away from you. He is standing on this it's like 3 feet in the air. This pool of water. You just saw him splash and tear through it. Most of the pond emptied. You're actually a little bit wet. You were in the splash zone. If this was Shamu,
Nice. Right.
there's now a carp sitting right next to you on the sidewalk.
Magic carp?
I can show you.
I cast Chromatic Orb at level 1, but acid.
Althea, are you
Acid.
an arcane trickster?
Yes,
Are you hidden?
yes, but it doesn't work on spells.
You have magical ambush at level 9, so the creature has disadvantage on a saving throw against a spell if you're hidden. So that guy has disadvantage. Magical
Oh.
ambush at level 9 for an
It's-
arcane trip.
it's- It's a hit, so.
Oh yeah, there it is.
If it hits.
All right. Appreciate that one, Mercer. I like this. Studying up a little bit. Anyways, you will connect the chromatic orb. You said acid damage, right?
Yeah.
And you see steam coming off this thing, and it seems to etch away, almost disintegrating a good portion of it. A big divot forming in its side. As it glares over at you momentarily as it was tearing towards Warwick, you can see its solid eyes turn in your direction.
Ready?
Go up back in the stealth.
All right, Grizz, you're up.
I'm gonna move down one. I'm gonna tap it. Look at me, big guy. And let's have a little bit of wait. I guess wait. Let's see. I see it like staring at Warwick. I'm gonna move down because I know I can slightly protect him. And let's do this. That was not supposed to be an advantage, so that one does not hit regardless. I'll do a second one. Even if I rolled a d4, it wouldn't matter. 25 to hit, 7 points of demolish.
25 will hit, and you see its eyes rapidly shift back to you. Again, small chunks of stone spraying into the air. But still focused on Warwick.
Oh, looks pretty hurt.
And yeah, that'll end my turn.
All right. Chamb3r.
No need to leap this time.
Oh, dude, not gonna lie. I was hoping you were gonna leap on its head and just start fucking tapping it.
I mean, if Evan had gone up above you, that was my plan. I was gonna be like, Grizz, put your shield up, and I was gonna jump off of his shield on top of it. But
That would
That would have been
Sometimes
dope.
it
All right, fair.
doesn't
That was a good thought, Coral.
Nice.
15. Look at that.
Nice. So 17 and 14. Wow, 31 points
Nice.
of damage. Damn.
31 points of damage.
And with
Hacking
a
and slashing.
rapid attack coming in, hacking, slashing, brutally attacking from the back. The first one you come through, hit it, a crack massively forms right down its left leg, like where you would call it sort of the back hip of this thing. You see it slowly shatter through as the first leg then tumbles off of it in a just splash of the water. Coming through the second one where it was already weakened, right through the middle of this body where it was now exposed from the first leg coming across, and you see a splinter form up through its body coming across, and as it does so, it slowly vibrates, the crack spreading, and you see all of a sudden pieces start falling off as this thing drops, spreading into about 12 large chunks and some smaller ones falling off,
I'm gonna look over at
and
Amber
it crashes to the ground.
give him a little,
Are we out of
little
initiative?
guns.
You're out of initiative.
Nice.
I'm gonna run up to this this person. I mean, when I look down, I mean, is this literally just a battered pulp? Like, no chance of life?
I mean, his right arm's still in pretty good shape. It's kind of standing out, as is his right leg. His back, kind of shoulder through his hip is what used to be this is now kind of this. He's a little worse off. His head seems, pretty decent order.
So you're saying we can make a puppet?
Got it. Okay.
Fucked up.
Warwick, you said there's an enchanter. What do you mean? What's going on?
I'll head over to Grizz, start walking over, and I'll just point at them and I'll be like, "These were enchantments. These are not live gargoyles. Somebody enchanted these. So I dispelled magic, took away one of them.
Right.
It's
I
called
don't see-
Delty. Yeah.
I was gonna see if I hear any other disturbances, because people are obviously running, but apparently I probably don't hear shit.
Yeah, looking around, you still see townfolk fleeing. They are running every direction. They have now kind of cleared out despite what it shows here, I haven't moved anybody, but they have kind of cleared out this square and in other areas. You hear some guards shouting from afar that seem to be running towards you, the boots stomping on the ground. Otherwise, any onlookers are in the vicinity have taken off and given very little more than a quick glance in this direction. You're kind of now alone in this entire square.
Do we hear any other areas in the distance where there might be some damage or some other type of big baddies?
Give me a quick perception check.
Episode 2.
And Grizz, you don't necessarily hear this as you listen. Warwick, listening around, you hear screams, you hear panic and fear, but it doesn't seem like any one direction. It seems more kind of fleeing outside of your area and getting away from this particular location. And they're kind of diminishing as the seconds go on, and so likely no other areas or pockets of concern. If you had to guess,
I'm gonna head over to the one where I dispelled magic on, and just take a little gander around to see if there's any markings or anything that would kind of give away that this was an enchantment or something of that nature. Let's do a quick investigation. Where we go? Investigation. Oh, 11. Awful.
As you investigate it a little bit, you see almost the markings of a chisel across this thing. You can see where it was slightly carved, but that's it. Otherwise, this just seems like standard stone. If you didn't know any better, you would assume someone dropped this here weeks ago.
Hi, Warwick. Is this enchantment something that has to be cast and you have to be close to, or is it something you could cast and let it go about its business?
With a low-level caster, I'd say, or low-level enchanter, I'd say somewhere close. But with what we've been dealing with lately, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a higher level enchanter, so they could be pretty far away.
Can I jump?
So as you guys do this, you guys hear numerous horse beats approaching rapidly as well.
Can I jump up
Must
on
be the
roof
guards.
for better
You can.
line of sight and see if I can
Yep,
see?
there's a number of different roofs here that you can do.
Yeah, I move myself up on that roof, bottom left.
Ah, got it. There you are.
And can I just see if I can see anybody that would be watching from above, or any bell towers or anything like that?
Yeah, the town's pretty level as far as the actual the topography of the area goes. There are a number of slightly higher buildings, some taller ones, some steeples and whatnot. Nothing more than about 4 stories in the vicinity, and you have a pretty good feel for the area. You've got a good line of sight. You can't see through all the buildings and whatnot, but from above, everything looks pretty clear. You see a few people still running off in the distance, scattering through the alleys. Generally, people are pretty scarce right now. You see 12 horses charging your way with men in uniforms, rapidly approaching, only a few blocks off. But otherwise, you don't see anyone suspicious. Give me a perception check, actually. I didn't see it on there.
She's doing that, and the horses are approaching. I'm just gonna take a quick little scurry up on this gargoyle and sit on top of its head. Just chill.
All right. Yeah, you don't see anyone or anything suspicious at this point.
My just for reference, my mind shielding ring is invisible. I don't think that's gonna matter here, but I forgot to state that.
Mind shielding invisible. All right. Yeah. And what about your
royalty? Yeah, no, it's out. It's out.
It's on.
Yep. It's on.
Okay.
Lord's Alliance and Nobility are both on.
Both on. All right. So Amber, because you're kind of looking around, not seeing anything besides panicked onlookers, you see 12 men on horses in uniform rolling up. The front one, this what appears to be a slightly older male, elven-like features, sharp chin, cropped, straight auburn hair, brown eyes, and you see relatively worn, hardened skin and a look of steel as he approaches. Down in the he is in a kind of attack position as he comes down, riding hard and approaching, on edge, looking around, his eyes sharp, and you recognize that it is he seems to be a man in charge, leading these other younger variety of men behind him. And as he comes tearing up, kind of looking around, he surrounds Griswold first. They not ominously, but or aggressively, but they kind of spread themselves out a little bit on the northern side up here. not quite knowing what the threat is or what it is. And you see them looking puzzled, looking at both each of you, Amrook on the ceiling, Grizz, this Goliath in the middle of town, two massive statues, Warwick sitting on top of it, everyone else kind of hiding around, no sign of Althea. Sid'll still stand on a bench. And they take it in their hands, maintain on their weaponry as they kind of spread out.
There's a little piece of the gargoyle that may have been like chipped or something. I'm gonna take it. I'm just gonna toss it in the general direction of whoever the leader looks like. Be like, hey, you're about 5 minutes too late, buddy.
And as he does so, he kind of goes over and he pulls this sword out. You see where it lands. He goes over, pokes it a little bit, and hits it like a polo, kind of knocking out of his way. We came as quick as we could. What happened here? Is the threat still imminent?
2 gargoyles gone. They were under some type of enchantment, so either somebody's still in this town or they're long gone. But yeah, no, we took care of them. Unfortunately, one of your townsfolk died. I'm going to point over at the bloody glop of human remains on the ground.
Are they still surrounding me? Oh, go ahead, Carl.
Nice. Yeah, I just said human pudding.
They're not so much surrounding you as they're spreading out. I mean, they came from the north up here, rolling down. So Grizz, they kind of split, over in this direction, here, spread themselves out as if you could be a threat, and they're kind of wrapping through the garden up here, and just generally dispersing themselves, and seem to be on edge. And as they each kind of nervously stand back, this leading soldier looks at each of you. You see his steely eyes momentarily rest on each figure, a little longer on Grizz, and then Warwick. Can I assume that you are the Phandalin Phive that I've heard have entered town?
Yeah, you mind putting your weapons down first? Make me a little nervous. But yes.
And he's going to resheath his sword as he does so.
Yes, we are the Phandalin Phive. Who might you be?
He's going to reach back to his gentleman to... Your swords, gentlemen. They seem to have it on hand. And in God, Chamb3r, I am currently the lieutenant of the local Shield of Yartar, on rapid response at the moment. We heard the calls from the townfolk, but 6 or so minutes ago, and reacted as fast as we could. However, it seems you were able to react quicker. How, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get our statues from the other side of town to here is the question.
Well, if you just look at my muscles, I was able to put one on one shoulder and one on the other and carry them over here.
Stares at you with a blank, hardened face.
Griswold chuckles. We don't know. We were in this tavern over here, and we heard screams, and saw these gargantuan monstrosities wreaking havoc. Warwick over here was able to take care of them by dispelling the magic. Amrook and I, as I nudge over to the dwarf on the roof, beat the shit out of the other one.
Did you say these came from the other side of town?
They were several hundred yards to the north of here, sitting on pedestals normally.
I think we might want to take a look at that area. Look for some clues.
Can you give me a quick recap of what happened here? Any other threats that you would assess? The Phandalin Phive is obviously held in high regard, and so I do respect your opinion. You've clearly held your own here, and I worry for the safety. And he kind of glances down at the body of this former townsfolk. I worry about the safety of the rest of the town. Should we be more on edge? Do I need to rouse the rest of the shield?
I wouldn't spite any type of panic yet, more than what there is, but these gargoyles were enchanted in some type of way. So there is some type of wizard, some type of sorcerer, whether they're here still in town or they fled. There's some type of magic at work. So yeah, we definitely need to take a look at where these statues were to see if we could find any clues.
Yeah, I'll look back. Warwick, if they came from up north here, it's not by coincidence. They were after us. I'll look at Keldrum. Keldrum, how quickly are you able to finish the teleportation circle? I think it's
Yeah,
best that we
couple minutes.
handle our
That's all.
business. We have major things to attend to, and I don't think it's a coincidence that those gargoyles came here.
So as you're having this conversation, two other men ride up on horses, dressed similarly in attire, coming straight up to Enengod. Whisper into his ear, kind of glancing at each of you as they do so, looking at the statues crushed down below. I'm going to give him a nod. My men have just informed me they've done some inquiries in the area, and there are a few reports of these statues. For lack of a better term, there were some reports the statues had been moved over the course of the night. Numerous people had seen them in different locations. However, there was no movement seen. They had only seen them in their statuesque position. So this is quite odd.
They were moved in various places. What places? Yeah, what places have they been?
Kind of lean over to one of his guys. It seems in a couple locations from the north, almost like they were periodically on their way in this area and just happened to cross paths with you.
Look at the group. This is a coincidence.
Highly irregular. He's going to kind of turn to his men, spread out. I want a full, and he's going to direct them to do a full scattering of the town. He wants a full inspection, guards posted on each end, regular rides up and down. So you hear him see some barking different directions, sending different guys in different ways, asking a few to call in replacements and to be on high alert. And your recommendation?
Yeah, I'd say just scour the scene, especially where they've been seen, to see if you guys can find any markings, any type of tampering or anything like that. But outside of that, it sounds like everything's been handled so far. So we should be okay for the time being.
I hope you're right.
Yes. Go ahead, Garrett.
Oh, no, that's it. That's all I had to say.
Garrett, I'm gonna duck back inside the inn.
Okay.
Sit down at one of the nearby tables. Preferably nobody around. And
it's pretty quiet in there at this point. It's pretty much cleared out. Everyone seems to have scattered and then searched for some type of shelter.
I'm going to cast divination. And I'm going to ask if these gargoyles were meant to hunt the Phandalin Phive.
How long does it take to do that? Just curious.
An action.
Oh, just an okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
I could do it ritualistically, but that'd take 10 minutes. So I'll just do it as an action.
Okay.
All right. What were you asking again? I was just reading the spell to get myself up to speed.
I was asking if these stone creatures were meant to be hunting the Phandalin Phive.
And you hear back, the Phandalin Phive was the target.
I knew it.
Interesting. Motherfuckers are after us.
We pissed someone off.
If you must excuse me, I have work to do. Is there anything I can do here? Should I have men help clean this up? Do you think there is further threat from these two items, creatures, threats? We'll call them threats for now.
I mean, if you don't like, the one of them's pretty much in shambles. You know what you could do is make the other one look like this one. That way you have a matching set.
Noted. And he's gonna call 4 of his men to stay here, 2 in each. Ask another one to come back, bring back clubs. And so the two men kind of ride up, jump off their horses, and stand on each other's gargoyle and kind of guard it momentarily while they await the last one to come back with a club of some type with orders to break it up.
You have enough men to protect Yartar.
I regularly do threat assessments for protection of Yartar. Beastly statues coming to life was not part of my threat assessment. I wish I could answer that with more confidence as I ask myself the same question at this moment. I will speak freely if you don't mind that I feel content having the Phandalin Phive here, knowing that we are slightly more protected than we are. However, we do have a number of men for the shield that we can call up and raise, and so for the time being, until further threats may be assessed, I feel that we are able to go on high enough alert and have enough men to handle things.
Okay.
I'd probably call him, because we have a few things we got to take care of out of the Yartar.
I will absolutely be doing so. Sorry. He's going to look at you, Caldrum. You're inside. So
Yeah, I'm going to come back out and look at the rest of the group and say, let's meet up inside.
I will slither on down this gargoyle before they bludgeon it to death, and I will take a quick little inside.
He's going to start riding by Grizz as you're the nearest. He's going to kind of glance down, look at you, look at your hand, look at you. The town is appreciative. Should you need the shield, let me know.
Actually, before I do that, before I camber on inside, I'm gonna look at the guard captain and be like, "Hey, speaking of shields, you guys wouldn't happen to have an extra one that I could have, would you?"
A shield, or a member of the shield.
No, like a shield, like one that I can hold on to.
No, I think he's looking for a shield's member.
Yes.
You.
Just kidding.
One of my men. No.
Now, an actual shield. Do you have a spare shield on hand that I can have?
He's gonna kind of look at you, size you up a little bit, and he's got a shield mounted next to his horse, like mounted on the shoulder blade of it. You over on this, and he's gonna pull it out, and you see what appears to be some form of crest on it. It's pretty impressive. It's in still fairly good shape. A solid wooden shield that seems made of strong, heavy timber with this ornate metal ring around it. This has been with me for many years and has done me well. She is yours. He's going to drop it down over the side and toss it your way.
Is it a buckler? Or is it like a kite shield? What do we...
I would say a medium-sized shield. It's sitting about 2.5 feet round diameter, almost Captain America type shape and size.
Kind of like a kite shield.
I like it.
All right, got it.
And so you're looking for a kite shield?
Oh no, I was just wondering for Keegan.
Got it. Unfortunately, this is more little bit more ornate than standard, but not a medium shield if you had to consider it.
Reed would be interested in a buckler.
I'll look back. Never mind. You guys couldn't. I have a shield. Griswold has an extra shield, but it's probably too big for you guys. Never mind.
You're 19 feet tall. Eat my ass.
And he has a number of things in a pack. They seem to travel well stocked for a variety of situations. As you're looking, the shield seems to be fairly nimble in their weapon array. Not only do they have their standard shields on them, you see various bow mounts. You see bags with different supplies hanging off. You see different things. So they're fairly well stocked since they're not doing a lot of travel. And as he does so, I can support your need as well. He's going to call over one of his men who's going to kind of turn the horse around, reach in one of the back bags, pulls out a small buckler. Once again, quite impressive. Actually seems relatively unused. Some type of metal, unrecognized right off the bat, that has some fairly intricate carvings on it, various warriors, and he's going to toss it your way like a little frisbee as well. The least I can do to say thank you.
Praise hell, praise Dale. That's all I know.
Thanks, Captain.
Thank you, Captain.
I'm gonna head off.
Be the kind of person the wall people would appreciate.
As I walk by, as we all go back in, because Keldrum had mentioned to come back inside, I want to investigate the gargoyles. It, I mean, I know that there's probably an enchantment, but is there anything else unusual about the stone? Anything else, real quick? Probably not, but
Yeah, as you take a look, you see they seem to be standard carved stones. You see the markings from the artist, whoever did it. Throughout it, numerous marks from which have maintained that you took out of them from your various weapons and blows. They look a little bit weathered by the years from rain. You see maybe some pigeon poop or so the bird poop on the back of one of them, areas of rubbing. Otherwise, they seem normal statues that you would have just thought fell off the pedestal at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna head inside. I'm gonna go meet Calvin and the team.
Myself as
Okay.
well.
Rook, are you maintaining look on top of the roof or heading in with them?
I will be the last in, but yeah, I will go in.
Okay.
He's the first one to class and the last to leave. I mean, the first one to leave out of class. Leave.
All right, making your way inside. You guys are inside the tavern now. I'm going to temporarily move you to the map as a holding pattern, but you gather inside the tavern.
Can I call for a quick bio break?
Not bad.
Yeah, let's do that before we start. Let's do a super quick bio break. Nope, that's all good. I can use one myself.
Yeah, I cut Eric off.
waiting on you guys. We're live.
I love you. I hope we were live because we had some fucking conversations.
We are now.
We live? All right. We're back at it. You guys make your way inside the tavern, having just put this thing down. The breakfast settled in nicely that you've already eaten.
Keldrum,
What do you guys want to do?
Keldrum, what's wrong?
Those things were after us. I think we need to get out of the city.
So
We can get to Silvery. We can get to Silvery Moon, and we'll be fairly protected there.
you guys think maybe that has something to do with Usith?
It could.
That or I don't know, Nasana. Maybe we need to take her out fairly
I mean,
quickly.
it's all kind of all the same thing. So
Connected.
6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Yeah, hey, cool. I'm ready to take a teleportation circle to the moon.
I agree. I agree, Keldrum. Let's do this.
we get out of the city, then they won't have to. They won't have this problem with these things anymore. We'll teleport out from the one I started.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to do before you leave?
Nope. All good.
I look at Keldrum and say, "Is this from OSRS?"
What's that?
Said I look at Keldrum and say, "Is this from OSRS?"
OSRS.
Old school RuneScape.
Old school RuneScape.
Nice.
So,
Rusty, I'm
As
glad
you-
I'm glad you understood.
Oh yeah.
as you become familiar with the teleportation circles at this point, having done it a few times, the oddity of the transportation has become more standardized to you. You know what to expect. And as the room slowly fades out from where you are, you appear in a very small area, barely
Oh,
enough for each of you.
I tell everybody, okay, Grizz, go into the circle last. Everybody else, as soon as you go through, it's going to be a tight space. Just keep moving, but don't touch anything. Don't touch anything until I get there, or you'll regret it.
You each slowly begin appearing, not all together, but one at a time. And as you arise, you appear in almost not much larger than what we would know as a phone booth, but for you it is a closet,
closet.
wooden, creaky, dark. The door half open whenever the first of you arrives, and just as others begin appearing behind you, taking up the entirety and slowly getting filled, you move out into the room, each appearing after the last. Grizz coming in, banging his head on the top of the closet as he does so, hunching over and scrunched in this small space. Everyone kind of filtering out into this room. You find this small 15 by 20 foot large open space that has very mild decoration, wooden, almost interior of a cabin of sorts that appears to be some type of den, dusty, rarely used. You see a couple pairs of bunk beds over on the table, or over in the corner, a small table that can hold no more than 4 for an average size. In one side, you see some cabinets, some basic supplies, but very unused. And overall, it appears that you are in some remote area. You look out the window and you see some old growth forest and some hills, but not much distance beyond that. Before Keldrum comes up behind you.
As soon as I come into the room, you hear him utter some incantations, just a couple brief words of magic, and you kind of feel this energy just all about you, and it kind of like vibrates a little bit, and then you just feel a kind of shut down. That was the security system.
Nice. Nice.
Looking around, you see you kind of start poking around. The cabinets are decently stocked, but don't appear relatively used. All is organized, but otherwise untouched and empty. It is welcoming and yet minimal at the same time. You see a few weapons over in the corner. Doesn't appear to be anything magical, just some variety of weapons, shields, tucked away, unused.
Me and Adrian used to sneak away here to get away from the city every so often, once in a while. But we kind of the family uses this as a emergency, just in case, sort of shelter.
Speaking of Adrian, have you heard from him lately?
We talked. I sent him a message. I think we did a message last week or last time we played. And he mentioned, yeah, he's okay. He ran across a very strange group that he said something about some kind of a hat. But he also came across one of your fishers.
Interesting.
Riz?
He did.
Yeah, but that's
Did they find anything?
kind of all I got from him.
That's interesting. He ran across a group, you say.
Mm-hmm.
Did he tell you what the group was looking for?
No, that they might be heading. They might be looking for us. Something. I don't know. You know how sending kind of works. Like it's a limited amount of words and stuff. So.
I'm just gonna look over at Amrook and chuckle a little bit. Him and I used sending before. Oh, we know how it works.
I thought that was an unlimited number of words.
Don't worry, you're not the only.
Can we get? Do you think
Alright.
we can get Adrian in this group here at some point? It's not the most important thing, but that sounds odd that they run into a fisher, a group is looking for us, and they have something too much for it to be a coincidence in my mind.
Probably not.
Maybe
Not
we
yet.
get him. Maybe we get them here after we figure out what we're going to do next.
All right, let's go. Silver Moon's about a couple miles northeast.
All right. We're gonna.
As you begin hiking, you make your way through this old growth forest. It's actually relatively untouched
Oh,
beauty.
Real
Oh,
quick,
go ahead.
Gene. As you leave the cabin, you kind of look around. You look behind you as you kind of close the door. You don't see a cabin. All you see is this large oak tree.
Nice. That's cool.
That's pretty dope.
You beat me to it, E. I was gonna say that you see this
Sorry.
beautiful and you turn around. No, that's okay. I want to make sure it gets said because that was awesome. So, seeing this massive oak tree form and then looking around, you realize it fits in with the majority of this old growth forest, relatively untouched. After so many cities, so much beaten down area and new growth, it's nice to see an area that is fairly untouched and maintains some semblance of natural beauty. You've been through Silvery Moon before, but only via the road that led here, and so seeing it come from a more unnatural state, it brings you some peace that you didn't previously have, that you almost haven't experienced in a while in this chaotic several months that you've been journeying. It's peaceful in many ways. You feel just comfortable, and knowing that Caldrum seems so comfortable moving through here as well, it brings you another semblance of just peace and calm inside. Continuing the few miles, it's still pretty early in the day. You see Silvery Moon off in the distance before you get there. The city itself that catches your eye, is one of just pure beauty. The good nature and the how best to describe it, the aura that Silvery Moon gives off. There's almost a glimmer from afar. As you do so, you see one that has not just the hints of the man, the humanoid basics of functionality of the other cities that you've been to. Silvery Moon appears almost artistic to you in that it was designed more for a painting than for living. And the closer you get, the more the detail stands out. The impressiveness of this city just hits you from afar. It almost exists outside of this chaos of the north that you've been enduring for so long. Coming up to the city and arriving, you see now the natural elvish trends within the buildings and everything else. Coming from where you are, you come through the south side of the city, making your way through, and you recognize that the city is divided. You knew this briefly from your last quick trip through, into two sections, the north and the south, divided by a very large, the River Robin, across them. You didn't get to see it. You had heard about it, but now as you make your way through the city, it catches your eye. A massive aura that stretches across the entirety of this river, connecting the north wall with the south wall. You see it, and yet you don't. There's a glimmer, there's something, guard shacks on each side, a distortion more than anything else, and yet you see people hovering just above this aura in an arch-like state, moving from one side of the river to the other, almost floating in the air. And you recognize this as what you've heard to be the Moon Bridge. The invisible, magical bridge that was created so long ago to connect the two sides of the river. It's fairly impressive to behold.
Oh, look at that thing. That's exciting. Come on, Grizz.
Kildrum, where's your father?
Let's see what time of day is. Yeah, okay. He's
It's
probably yeah. What time of day is it?
I was gonna say it's still pre-noon, based on your travels and everything else. So it's maybe like 10 in the morning ish.
He's probably in the southern. This is what the hell's it called?
South Bank,
The South Bank.
or
Yeah.
are you talking about the Conclave? Okay.
Yeah, he's probably in the south, the South Bank. Probably one of the conclave buildings in his office, probably, unless he's given. I don't know if he's given a lecture today or not. I don't remember what day it is. I will lead us through the city to where his office is at, and as we're strolling through the city, I'll kind of look to specifically Warwick and Siddle. I don't know if you guys have ever been through the city before, but careful of your casting of magics. Certain magics are not won't work here.
Got it.
So,
Do you know which types?
yeah, mostly teleportations in. Any kind of conjuring, especially of fiends and devils and things like that. Some scrying is you'll know when you're being scryed upon. We'll put it that way.
Be right back.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
You're also aware fire spells are
so
ineffective.
No fire
So
spells
we-
either. Won't work.
You won't need the lantern for anything that's said here, Kildrum.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But never won't hurt to use it anyway.
As you guys are doing this, during this entire time, you notice Asug is just wide-eyed and just looking around, traveling at the back of the pack, trying to keep up. No idea what he's gotten himself into. He looks in utter shock across the board, attempting to hold his own, but it is quite obvious. At various moments, you think he may be questioning what he has signed up for. So, fairly busy streets. Everyone seems a little tense, but otherwise going about their business in this beautiful city. Certainly, the mood is a bit dampened beyond the general aura of the city, which just feels very lighthearted and at ease. Stress certainly is pervasive across the board based on everything going on within the north, but you guys make your way through the city with relative ease. What amazes you is the cultural mix that this city presents. Very few look at you differently whatsoever. You see incredible variety of races, people, sizes, ages. It's the greatest mix that you've seen thus far, and everyone seems extremely tolerant. It's almost a place of a little bit of a bliss. And as you guys continue moving forward, following along with Caldrum, who moves through like he knows these streets like the back of his hand, very familiar with the area. You approach a building that clearly stands out from the rest. Not so much a building as a collection of several buildings that look similar, that stand out just for their unique design and complexity. You can see from the flowing design from the rest of the city, this one seems much more specific, a little bit more architecturally aesthetic, and perhaps a little more scientific. You recognize the university and this campus of buildings collected on the south side of the bank, all kind of tied together. You see many young students moving between the classes. You see a few listening to somebody talk outside, a lecture in one of the courtyards, trees planting around it. Everyone seems very, very interesting and interested in what's going on.
Hey, Grizz, see that building over there? That is the what the heck's it called? What
Not
am
sure
I
what
looking
you're
for?
going.
Hold on here.
No problem.
The map. That's the map house. I wouldn't mind taking your map that you have and taking it over there. There's every type of map that you can possibly think of. And yes, Candlekeep is the ultimate library, but we have the Vault of Stages. There's probably no place in the realms that has more knowledge than the Vault of Stages.
I'd like to go there. If we have some time at some point. Be good to know about the Fishers, but I also have some other questions of my own. It'd be nice.
All right. Entering the university, you see this map house. Godwin points it out. He begins weaving through a few of the buildings, cutting through a few back ways that seem to take you off trail. You can see the worn path throughout the grass that seems to be a way that the students know, and gets more transportation than you would suspect based on where he's taking you. And as you do so, you come to what appears to be some type of classroom. And looking into it, you see a young gentleman, appears to be no more than 30, a man lecturing at the front of the class, and you see him attempting to take a few spell components, point out proper measurements. You see him instructing the students all fully engaged, and with an air of confidence and knowledge, you see him produce what appears to be some type of illusionary unicorn that appears in front of him, and you see him make a dance, and the students give a mild clap, and you see the smallest of smirks on his face. Appears to be a bit of a serious man.
With him not seeing, I'm going to very stealthily cast minor illusion of a large green dragon come through and bite at this fake unicorn, this illusionary unicorn.
Give me a sleight of hand with advantage.
with advantage.
Yeah, there are several classroom people here. You're kind of in the back. You're out of the, so you have advantage on this, but you are relatively exposed as you're doing this.
Oh, damn.
Of all the times to get that 20.
And as you do so, this gentleman up front with this long sandy blonde hair tied tight in a back ponytail, this tan complexion standing there, puffing his chest a little bit for what he's just done and almost absorbing the attention and the admiration from the students when suddenly this appears and coming down, taking a chomp out of it. You hear a woman scream and a small girl scream in the audience. A few others back up, and he doesn't move. He holds his ground. You see his piercing blue eyes as he steps back, begin looking around. Momentarily, getting a little bit nervous, looking at each of the students, trying to tell him to calm down, glancing, thinking he's losing, kind of checks down what he did before looking up, and you see his shoulders relax, and you see the smallest of grins come on his face as his stern eyes come back into focus. The piercing blue eyes connect with Caldrum's up above. He gives a acknowledging nod. One of respect and almost a "you got me" type communication. At which point he does a little something, dismisses both of the illusions in front of him, and he's going to turn to his class. Class, what you've just seen is an excellent example of countering an illusion with an illusion. It was masterfully done by what I could only assume is one of my ideal, most proficient students. In fact, I would say he is so talented he must only be my blood. I would like to introduce each of you to my son. He's going to gently point up above. Caldrum, thank you for, as always, making such an entrance.
Walking into the room, and I learned that one from the best. That was the very first spell I learned, by the way.
Wouldn't be the first time you've gotten me with that. Please, come down. You've brought quite the collection to my classroom. Once again, disrupting the natural flow of things. Class, I think on that note, we will call it a day. That is a good lesson to be learned. If anyone can tell me that they honestly knew that was an illusion and saw it being casted, I will give you bonus points on the next exam.
I raised my hand.
No?
I knew.
And if you were in my class, you would be immediately removed. Thank you, students. And he's going to kind of put his hands behind his back and just, you see this fairly stoic pose as everyone filters out. He goes over, collects some of his belongings. And with a air of sincerity and yet not quite displaying a lot of emotions, he's going to come over, extend his hand for Caldrum to shake it. And you see in his eyes a relief almost, an appreciation to see him, a connection, but he doesn't show it in his face. He's rather hard in that regard.
I go to extend my hand to look like I'm going to grab it, and then I go in tight and give him a big old hug.
And he returns the hug. Caldrum, my son, how good it is to see you. And the rest of you are just taken aback by the age difference between the two, as they look like they are but a year or two apart from general appearance. Caldrum has hinted to you in the past that his father is obviously quite old and experienced. You're aware from his history that he knew Bo Gentle, and you're aware that was a few hundred years ago, and yet this man looks no more than maybe a 30-year-old human. You see no wrinkles, no crow's feet, no stress on his face whatsoever, nothing but a confident demeanor and sharp eyes that takes in each of you, almost seems to see right through each of you and seeing into your core. Caldrum, it's so good to see you. I didn't expect you back so soon.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting back this soon. We need some help though. You got my message yesterday about yeah, the Bo Gentle's monster.
I did. You certainly
we
have me
Oh,
peaked.
I'm sorry. Let me go around the room here. The tall one, big one here. This is Griswold. The little one here.
And
This is Reed.
in turn, he takes you each in with a friendly set of eyes, shaking your hand firmly.
Oh, I'm going in. I'm gonna pull him in. I'm gonna try and get a hug. Bring it in.
Yeah, he gives you that kind of like half hug, chest out a little bit. Like I don't really know you, semi-personal. But I'll return the hug anyways.
Thanks, Pops.
This is Amrook. This is
Each giving a mild nod.
This is our newest compatriot here, Sug.
Who tentatively steps forward to shake his hand.
This fine young human here is the blood of Mr. Bogentle himself, Siddle.
And as he turns to Siddle and then you're making this announcement and preparing to shake his hand like the rest of them, you see him momentarily pause. The stoic look on his face breaks for a split second. He almost leans back a hair and takes a mild step back. And you see him kind of glance further at Siddle up and down. You see admiration, almost amazement in his eyes to the mildest form as he leans forward, shaking your hand, the second one going a little higher on your arm. It is
and I'm gonna
truly an honor.
I'm gonna come back with I've only recently found out myself. I was after my ancestral spell book and wound up losing a lot of my memory. Not the magic, fortunately, but a lot of the memory. So
I'm so terribly sorry. I've heard what happened to you. It's a terrible thing. Lineage as great as your own should not have had that happen. I'm unfortunately lost track of your great-grandfathers. I should have stayed closer in touch. I thought nothing of it once my colleague dispersed. I didn't know him well, but I did know him. You must be, 6th or 7th generation now from Bogentle. He was truly a great man.
Thank you. I would once the world settles down a little bit, I would certainly enjoy to sit down and hear some stories, if you don't mind.
And when your memory comes back to you, I too would love to hear some as well. You have my hope, my blessings.
Much appreciated.
Keldrum, you've certainly brought an interesting group here, and you've left me tingling with excitement, he says with a dull face, with your question yesterday. But let me ask you, you asked no simple thing. Does this have anything to do with your brother? Is he all right? Have you heard from him?
I was gonna ask you if you've seen him. I thought he was heading this way or was out towards this way somewhere. But I have talked to him. He's fine. He had a calling away from this group. But I think he's okay.
And you see mild concern in his eyes. I hope that is true. I have not seen or heard from him in a good while.
Yeah,
my brother
I know
struggles to find a path sometimes, and I worry about him.
I know he has some false anxieties, I guess you can say. But I know he was through the city here not too long with the same group. You know how he is. You know how he is. Anyway,
You see a mild disappointment look on his face. I'm well aware. He is certainly his mother's son.
Yeah.
Do we all hear them? I don't want to say talking smack on Adrin, but beating around that slightly.
I love it.
You're all hearing this. He's not projecting it loudly, but they're having this conversation fairly out in the open.
I after I do what I just did, I'm gonna walk back up to the group and say, whatever Adrin has not in a mean manner by any means, but more of a whatever differences Adrian may have. I must say that, well, Keldrum, you've done wonderful things for this group. I must say, you mentioned Adrian might be a little lost or find it difficult to find his path, but Adrian helped this party in many ways. He was more than a colleague, but family. And as I look back at the group, I just want to say that whatever differences he may have with the both of you I understand is your business, but Kadrin is sorry, I'm mixing Keldrum and Adrian. Adrian is a wonderful person. They've done great things, and I just want to say that because I hope that makes you proud. He's done wonderful things for not only this group, but for Farron as well.
And with a touch of pride, he looks at you. That is kind of you to say, Griswold. I appreciate that. My son is a man of many talents and has many great deeds in him, and I wish him a clear path that will make him happy. I'm glad he has found that with you, or so you say.
Dope. Whoa.
See ya.
I just pissed off Keldrum and Adrian all at the same time.
Wow.
Shit.
Get a little choked up over this conversation.
My bad.
Has anyone seen my son? Where is he gone?
Sorry, Keldrum. Didn't mean to make you mad.
No, I don't know
kidding.
what it is. It's like every time now for like the last couple weeks at this time, my Discord decides to take a shit somewhere.
Huh.
It's your neighbor firing up his Bitcoin miner.
Sorry, I missed the last, I don't know, minute or so.
Oh, he just said with a touch of pride that he was that Adrian had great things in him. He had great deeds. He appreciates Grizz saying that.
You know, Grizz,
He's glad he found a solid place.
I don't think you have to prove to me or my father that. I think you have to prove Adrian that. He's always had these thoughts of disappointment, falsely, I think, but that's him.
I appreciate that. I will. Maybe we should make it more known of the greatness that he's done.
So, knowing that, I believe we should retire to my office. It will provide us a better location for this discussion. Would you like to join me? It might be a bit tight for each of you, but it will be a safer point of location. At which point he's going to begin walking back out into a hallway, down a little bit, leading you into what's actually a pretty impressive sized office. You guys all fit comfortably inside there. As you look on the outside, you take a quick note that you see office of Arestrenestel Yondreus Lethalis, professor in research of illusion magic.
Aranel.
Aranel.
As we're walking back, I just I kind of tap Keldrum. Keldrum, if you have a moment, I may need your help again with Frank. I received. Gabriel reached out, and he may know where Frank is, but I may need heightened magic to help with whatever's going on.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means. I
Provide any
haven't
help
gotten
I
a response. But yeah, thank you. But we'll talk later about it.
He's gonna go stand, put some stuff down on his desk, and then turn back to each of you, leaning back lightly against it. So you ask about Bowgentle's nightmare. You were quite cryptic. What What brings you here? We can speak safely here.
I will tell him everything. Everything from... I will spend the next hour or two, whatever, tell him everything about the giants, the Hecton gone missing, thought to be killed, but maybe not, with Nasana, with Usyk, with the Kraken Society, everything that we've come across, and anything that he might know. Osmaroth. What else? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
The
gonna
entire time he stays very quiet, as you're so used to him doing, just listening intently, showing almost little emotion or reaction to what you say.
I wanted to. I know. Your Papa Bear here said that things were peachy, but Griswold's gonna light the lantern just before as Keldrum just starts to say all that. Griswold's lighting that lantern.
That is quite an impressive. Is that what I think it is? A lantern of revealing.
Yes, it is. You never know who's watching these days.
He's going to take a look. Excellent craftsmanship. But I can assure you, you do not need that here. The Silvery Moon Mythal is well engaged. This is as safe as you will be from revealing eyes. It basically acts the same as that lantern, but across the entirety of the city. Very similar magic. And at all times. And he's going to turn to you. Your paranoia is understandable if even a fraction of what Keldrum just told me is true. And he has never been one to weave a tale.
I'm not sure, I wasn't listening, I fell asleep.
Althea did or Ashley did?
No, Althea.
Oh, okay. I can understand that. Whew. You've had quite an adventure since you've left here, haven't you?
Yeah, I've only been gone for like a couple of weeks. I mean, these folk have been about it for a while.
He's going to look at each of you. I have the greatest of respect for what you've been doing. The tales that you've told is quite impressive. I hope my sons have been helpful to you along the way. With the amount of travel you've done, what you've seen, I don't know how well versed you are, but I wish you all to be careful because it's only gotten worse out there. The news that comes in is quite dire. Things seem to have accelerated, and it is of great concern. You can sense the blanket of fear over even this city, which typically lives without concern for those type of it.
Are you referring to the giants?
That seems to be the point of greatest peril at the moment. I stay out of the general news of the day. I don't follow it as closely as some of the others, but I hear the tales of the other professors speaking, and it's gotten quite bad, particularly the north and the east. The 10 towns are supposedly in ruins. The army has been depleted up there. The coastal towns under constant attack over the last few weeks. Ships being taken out consistently. Food sources dwindling. The area from the Grey Vale to the Grey Peak Mountains nearly impassable these days. As far as north as Delimbear Vale under constant threat. These beasts are a menace. I know not what happens, but it's like the beehive has been kicked. I worry about your safety daily. Sorry, he's going to glance your way.
Of Iron Slag and the Fire Giants, or maybe the Primordial Flame Majira.
He's going to ponder for a second. I seem to recall reading about both in the past. Not my area of expertise, but but I'm vaguely aware of them. Yes.
You haven't heard anything about, Iron Slag being relit or the fire giants being more active lately?
No, no. I would say the Tales of the Fires are the least that I've heard. Those referred to as the Stone Giants have been most active to me. That and the Frost. Although the most recent tales I've heard from last night were some terrible attacks by storm giants on the coast. It was many dead. I forget exactly where, but I guess they were slaughtering with abandon, and even the cloud giant who for so long have just hovered above us peacefully have been descending more often, taking at will, pillaging. They wiped out a nearby museum not long ago for an artifact that supposedly was theirs, but so many other priceless treasures were taken or were destroyed at the same time. That was a big hit here at the university. I worry about each of you every day. Caldrum, your safety is on the line. These are desperate times indeed. A dark shadow rests over the land. And what you tell me does not ease my heart by any means. So where can I help? What would you like to know from me?
Well, what did you mean by Osmeroth's creation of Bogentle's declining mind? I didn't.
That's an excellent question. I suppose I've told you some, but not all. I think I should perhaps start back at the beginning if you have time for a tale.
Short rest. Yep, ready.
As he begins talking, he begins telling you about this man, Bogentle. A good man, an adventurous one that the tales of Bogentle, when I come to know him, were legendary. He was older than me. He had been here for a while, teaching it sometimes, mostly adventuring. He had already had many great conquests under his belt. The things he had done are unbelievable, single-handedly taking on a black dragon and using a very item from his hoard in mid-battle to put him away. Going toe-to-toe in a challenge with a red dragon, putting away beasts of innumerable dangers. Each quest more difficult than the last, each time coming back with some incredible amount of knowledge. He was an impressive man, though a bit of a womanizer, I must say. They swooned to him. However, I knew him later in life, and he slowly became... I do not just wish to speak ill of the man, but unsettled as time went on. Moving towards derangement, he always seeked a greater and greater threat, needed that next big thing. And so sometimes he went looking for it, but by the end, we were convinced that he was beginning to conjure it himself, to imagine it, to build up this threat just to make it seem as though he was still the man that he once was. But it was deranged. His writings no longer made sense. His spells unreadable. He would go on and on about a great threat to not just any area, but to all the land, to all of Toril, that it was coming to be wiped out. It was the end of days and the beginning of others. He would talk about this nightmare scenario, his own inner demon that he named Osmeroth, a name that no one else had heard before or then, a creation of his own, this coming event in the end that he must be prepared to stop. He would be gone longer and longer and stay shorter and shorter, and he became quite weary by the end. It was concerning to see from a man that had so much life behind him.
If he
There
pauses
were
for a moment, I'm gonna butt in and ask if any of his old notes are still around here, or.
And he's gonna pause right then, and as he thinks about it, actually, there is. I think you should come with me. And then you guys are gonna enter the exit that room. He's gonna head down the hall, still telling you a little bit. He became increasingly erratic. It was difficult to see. We were able to save some of his items. Others he took with him when he finally departed. And as you pass through in the hallway, there's a small little nook, basically a carve out in that area, and it's blocked off. There's a small like stanchions in front of it that don't let you pass into this little enclave there. And you see a pedestal carved in granite behind it, a portrait of the man Bowgentle in his elder years hanging up on the wall. Small history of his life and death. You see a pedestal that looks like at one time held perhaps a book of some sort, but now empty. The table carved in front of it holds a few items. You see various like pins, medals, relics of different types, a few magical items spread out. You see another book there that is open to a couple pages, has some almost appears to be a journal of some type. That is only a few pages left. Most seems to have been discarded by one form or another. But he's going to walk up, and we managed to save a few items from Bowgentle, who is still a bit of a legend in this particular area. He's going to point to the empty stand. The book that I believe you're chasing once stood there. Unfortunately, it was stolen, maybe over a century ago. But someday, hopefully, it will sit on its place. I would normally say rightful place, but he's going to glance at Siddle. That rightful place, I think, might be in your hands now. But we do have this journal of his, and he's going to kind of reach across, undo the stanchion, so you can go. You guys can actually approach the items. And as he begins flipping through the pages, you see some early writings about his. The first one appears to be some tale of him going toe-to-toe with something called Rargok. You see images of this black dragon and with a horde behind it. And he points to that and says, "This is the tale I was speaking of," that he describes. And then another one goes on to the tomb of the Wizard King and how he recovered the treasure there. The next one, Red Dragon. The other, some of his doings, some of the good things he's done to help those in his travels. Flipping to another page, you start to see where the writing becomes erratic, much more scribbled than previously. You see notes, end of days, army coming, the beginning anew, the battle to be won, the tails to be, the scales to be tipped. And on the parallel page, on these scramblings on the left-hand side, on the right, you see a dramatic oil painting that seems rushed. He had some level of talent for painting, but as you look at this chaotic scene, you see, from what you can tell and make out, it's certainly not well done, but some shadowy figure looming over the battlefield, holding some gleaming item. You see creatures, humanity, humanoid-esque in some ways, and in others unrecognizable, battling out on the field, thousands of what appears to be armies of some type, from what you can gather, interacting. This is very undetailed, very, very emotive more than anything else. You see almost a glow in the background, not quite a sun, but something on the horizon, some aura, and you just see death all over the field. And he kind of Aranel comes over, points to this. He began making paintings like this, numerous of them, though most he destroyed. This is what he called Osmeroth. It was supposedly his greatest enemy. It was his magnum opus. It was his great achievement, is what he intended to be. That he was going to be the man that put down Osmeroth, or put an end to this Osmeroth, or whatever it was. The story always changed. The way he told the tale differed, but it was some great impending threat that spoke to him and him alone. And I wish I could tell you more, tell you what this was, what he spoke of, but I feel many of us felt then and still do that it was the ramblings of a madman. That name has not been spoken, that word, that event, whatever this thing is, in over 200, 300 years.
Shit.
Until you brought it to me yesterday.
Siddle.
Apparently, it is real, and it is higher up in this Kraken society. Don't know where in chain of command, but he's some kind of a leader, and underneath him is this necromancer. Her name is Nasana. That we have they have a little bit of a connection with.
She's the current owner of, or the current possessor of my familial text as well.
Yeah, I find it very interesting. Not coincidental that this name is tied to this Nasana who so vehemently wanted this Bo Gentle's book. There's too much connection there. There's got to be something there.
If
maybe
you don't mind. Go ahead, sorry, Adam.
Osmeroth, is he some kind of, maybe he's a figment of Bo Gentle's mind, but maybe he's Bo Gentle in a sick and twisted way. Looking through these notes, is there like an event like where the ramblings start? Like did he say that he found some kind of an item, and then all of a sudden the ramblings kind of started, or not really? It just
no, there. You are certainly stretching my memory here, Kaldrum. This goes quite far back. I cannot recall any specific event that may have preceded this, and it wasn't an immediate event. It was progressive. Each trip that he made, each time he came back, he was a little bit more not himself, a little bit more concerning, a little. Sometimes he would come back scared, sometimes encouraged, sometimes in fear. Each time it got worse. We would find him talking to himself more. His head would throb. He would get in fits of rage. He would tell us that it was only he that could see the coming event.
This question may sound a bit daft, but are you certain that he died?
You ask an excellent question, and go into a bit of a realm that I wish I would have stayed more closely with, and I would hope that you would be able to answer this question better than I. But the story is, after leaving here, he left several of his items. The Book of Bo Gentle itself was actually not composed by him, but by his students after he left, from the spells that he had taught and from his notes. The majority of it, quite impressive. One of the most impressive catalogs of spells I've ever seen. However, the final spells, similar to his mind state, became a delusion, a mess. They were unreadable. I would say that was the last 2 or 3 spells that I recall. Nothing that my eyes could make sense of. It was of no language I've ever seen or heard. It was a mystery, and so we kind of put it down to this man losing his mental state. So he decided to leave the university. He bequeathed his final magical works whenever he was in his right frame of mind. He then traveled south to live his waning years with the elves of Chamb3r. The rumor that came out of that land was that he reportedly died when he fell from a mountain path in a snowstorm in the Snowflake Mountains. He was buried in a grove beneath the Dryad's oaks in the Chamb3r forest. However, there are rumors that that story is not entirely true. I'm fairly confident he died down there, but I'm not sure that falling off the path was natural, nor that was the truth at all. There are reports of something much worse having occurred, though no one had spoken of it or anything concrete. Now, I do feel that he was truly dead. Bogentle was, despite laid to rest, many years later. Unfortunately, his grave was dug up by one of the founders of the Zentarum. They say his body still rested. They were relics that were taken from there, but those men were captured and killed, fairly well known, and reburied. So his remains were still in place. But the question of how he died still very much bothers me to this day.
Find it funny that man that slain dragons and monsters die in such a accidental way. That just doesn't
What
seem
mountains?
right.
What mountain did you say he fell off of again?
Snowflake Mountains, the Western Snowflake Mountains.
Was there ever any suggestion that he was studying any magic that is maybe unsavory? Lichdom, things like that.
I don't believe that he would have delved into that realm, but again, his final spells were on the more dangerous side and delved into magic that I would not normally do so. I wish I knew what those final attempts by him were. There were rumors that it was him and only him that could read it, and that they were protected by some sorcery, and that they were disguised for a reason. But I don't know if that was purely men trying to maintain the legend of Bogentle and not allow him to see him wither into that state. You hate to see a man of that talent lose his mind in that affair. And so I think perhaps it was just people assigning intention to what I see as madness. Of course, I thought the same was true for this evil that he thought was brought upon the land. He's going to think for a moment. He would speak about a ritual. He would speak about the end of days, about the stepping stone, the return. I wish I could piece any of this together for you.
This
Unfortunately,
ritual,
there's
did he say
slip of my
anything
hand.
about fallen symbols or what he might need in the ritual?
He didn't. I imagine that was in his notes somewhere, but none here. I've reviewed this book hundreds of times, and there's nothing of note. Perhaps in the Book of Bogentle, it was there, but unfortunately, that was lost far sooner than we could duplicate or copy. I wish I could have given you more on that.
We need that book back.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately, I don't know if that's as much as I want to hunt this down. I don't know if this is the path that we need to take right now, though. As if this news that giant attacks are getting worse, we need to stop them. I don't know if finding Bojentle's book it will help in that at all, or maybe it will, but to me that seems like a big if.
Well, I think we know Nasana is tied to the Kraken Society, who is tied to all of this. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for her to have information and for the book to help us. I think it's almost killing two birds with one stone. And on top of that, what has me really concerned, if they're talking about a ritual, no wonder why Nasana's been asking for things like a symbol, a holy symbol of a fallen priest. Why she wants Siddle's blood. If there's truly some type of magic or something, keeping anybody from reading, the last couple of pages with those, super crazy spells or something, maybe Siddle's blood is going to help unlock it. I don't know if we have a choice other than to actually go and get this book back.
As you guys are having this conversation, you see him pause. Aranel stares at you, Warwick. Initially, you think he's listening, but he seems to be looking below your face, staring at your chest. He sees a rather innocuous medallion, a pin that you have on, one that you've carried around for a while. Nothing of interest, just holds your cloak together. He's going to point at that. You've had it so long you barely recognize it at this point. That is interesting. And he's going to flip to another page of the book, going back, and you see very early on in some of the happier notes of the book, and you see an image of this, and it was found during during some of his travels. He describes this pin that he found, this simple brooch like item, and how he felt it made his eyes pop a little bit. And you see the image, and it matches very closely to something you're wearing, Warwick.
I'm going to look at Warwick and say, if I find out we're related, I'm going to be incredibly irate.
Could have told you before. We're brothers. Sorry.
And Warwick, you picked this up somewhere along the way. You felt, you don't recall exactly. You felt like you bought it from a shopkeep of some type in some town you passed through. It was nothing of importance. That is most interesting.
Does it say anything? It's just something that he kind of found. That caught his eye, or did it have some magical significance, or would the symbol mean anything to any of us? I guess.
And as he reads, the symbol appears to mean very little. It's just a kind of an ornate geometric shape. I'll have to send it over to you later once I make it. It's just a little ornate geometric shape. It seems to have no massive significance by any means. As he's reading through some of the notes there, it seems he was on a. You read through the actual event. The mission that he was on appears to be somewhere down over to the east. Near Cormanthor, fought some evil being there, banished it, slaughtered it from the land, something like that. Anyways, that's a side tale. He didn't actually find it there. It was on his returns through the Anarok, which back then was not quite the desert. It was actually much more illustrious back then. Seems to have found it somewhere in the mountains on his returns. Assumed it was dropped by some other traveler.
I'll notice that he's looking. I'm like, oh, he's kind of checking out my pin. Yeah, my dad gave me this a long time ago.
Huh. Must purely be a coincidence, a minor thing. Yeah, I assume it was sold somewhere back then. Just a coincidence, paranoia from an old man from the tales you've been telling.
Insight check. Insight check, my old man.
With advantage, since you know him. Oh, yeah. You recognize the concern on his face and that he doesn't quite believe what he's saying.
You said this is from the book mentions Anarok. I'll look at the group. Don't we know a few things about Anarok? Aren't there, if I recall, there's some dragons floating around there. Brothers, if I recall. Felgolos told us about some brothers. And out of character, did we not hear about there's the hold on. Is there another dragon floating around there as well?
Yeah.
We've heard stories of a couple of dragons that are over in that area. They're in the northern side, northern mid. Now, keep in mind, if you look at the map on where the Anarok Desert is, shift click. This thing takes up basically Yartar down to the entirety of the north. It is quite large in its size and kind of contains that plain of Sonistan. So keep in mind when I say Anarok, that also does say that's like saying the north for the most part. This is hell. I mean, it basically it would cover the same distance from Baldur's Gate to Luskan.
Never mind.
Yeah, there's Chamb3r. She is fairly strong, fairly ancient. I believe an ancient dragon, blue.
I think you're right.
And she had.
Interesting.
There's two kids that you learned about, right?
Yeah,
you have it in your notes all.
Chamb3r and Annixter.
The one that fell.
And
they Felgolos are trying to go fight.
What's that?
The two that Felgolos are going to. He's going to fight them, I believe. I remember.
He's going to go fight them.
Yeah.
By himself?
I feel like I may have picked that up. Maybe that was just something G and I talked about.
No, you're right. Felgolos did talk about that when we met him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I check something? I'd like to get a sense if there's any dark magic. You say that Bogentle in the end of days went a bit dark. Do you mind if I just see if there's I get a sense on any of you within this area as I look at Keldrum's dad, because pronouncing his name is so that I'll cast Divine Sense just to see if I pick anything up.
The items in front of you seem to, as well as the general vicinity, seem to present nothing to you in general. All seems quiet and well. The same small, ominous nag that has caught your smell the last previous few times. Your senses seems to do so again, but it's no different than what you've experienced the last few times you've done so.
Okay. All right. Cool beans. No, the items seem to be fine. I don't know.
What gets me about all this is if Osmaroth is just a bad dream, so to speak, why me? I'm not part of the Bogentle family. Oh.
Have you made some deal with an unsavory figure? Allow me to posit that the name Osmaroth has been known to, from back when again, it's been many a years since I've heard so, but back when Bogentle was a bit of a more legendary and his ramblings did carry some weight throughout. Osmeroth began taking on the name, the aura of the boogeyman. He was used to scare, to to influence, to persuade those that had nefarious means. It would be such as someone using the name Klauth today, that strikes fear into the hearts of many. It was used back then. Perhaps you are just hearing that. It is nothing more than somebody screwing with you as a figment, trying to use a name that may or may not strike fear.
What
But
if
that is
what if I asked to meet this Osmeroth and they have already agreed?
well, unless you meet the rambling mind of a dead man, I do not expect you'll find anything but somebody posing as a great figure, just to try to scare you with an imposing presence. Have they asked you to do dangerous things, asked for nefarious means, used that presence to scare you into doing more than perhaps you were comfortable doing? That's really my guess.
They may or may not have brought me back to life twice. From
They brought you back to life.
twice within a matter
You
of
see,
days.
he pauses for a moment.
And they weren't even right beside me. They were somewhere else.
You see concern. That's certainly an interesting trick if they've done so.
You think that's a trick that Bo Gentle could have pulled off?
I don't think even Bo Gentle could return life to a man. Not that I'm aware of. That certainly of interest. Perhaps I wouldn't take this threat as lightly as I did a few moments ago. You've given me a lot to think about here.
We know about Klauth.
Yeah, we know about Cloud.
Yeah, you guys have heard the story. It's become fairly common. By Klaus Vale is a kind of a common term of like son of a or some beastly term. It's they strike fear into the hearts of many, sort of thing. If kids don't go to bed, Klaus gonna get you.
Oh, all right. We'll be. I'll find where.
That's what I tell Hazel.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I'd say, my opinion, I think that maybe I take this, maybe I push a little more to meet this Osmeroth, whoever or whatever it may be, try and gain as much information as I can. And I say after that, we need to get this book back from Nisana. Maybe, Siddle can read what's ever in there. I don't know.
Maybe you can after what we've learned. I don't know.
You know what? Maybe we both can, brother.
Well, Warwick, I fear if you go alone, you won't come back.
I'm going to turn to Anaroth, right? No,
Anaref.
Aranel.
Sorry.
Jesus
DNA
Christ.
test.
Okay.
DNA test.
Pick the names.
8.
Say, well, once we've retrieved the book, and of course I've taken some time to study it, I do think it would be safer here than anywhere I could stash it. That's something that the university would be interested in.
It would be of great interest to us. It is, as you can see, long held a very honored position here. And our protections have come a long way since they were a few hundred years ago.
Good to know.
If we
that way I'll always know where to find it too.
If we go ahead and decide to go after the book, maybe we could talk about this later, but anything you can or the town could do to maybe aid us, whether it be maybe a few healing potions, or if there's some spells, some scrolls that could potentially help us. This is no easy feat for us to go in and take down the sauna and get the book back.
Nasana. This is a name I've done research on, and I cannot find many details on either. I wish I could help you more, but we'd be willing to provide anything we could. You are happy to stay here. I think you could gain a lot from my class. In the next 6 to 12 months, I could level up your spells to an incredible degree and expand your knowledge and capability beyond what you could possibly imagine. You have an open seat in my class.
You have like a Cliff's Note version. We're probably on like time bomb. I'm thinking like we need to go after this book within the next like week or so and figure out what's going on with the giants outside of that. So if you have like a spell book that I could take a look at, that'd be cool.
I have a great deal of faith in what you've done as well as my son. But are you sure so few of you are up for this? Even with additional help and resources. I look around at the threats facing this land, and I worry that it will take more than just what you bring to the table.
I'm really not sure that we have a choice.
We have a few alliances on our side.
I just don't know if this book can do what you think it will do. I don't know. I honestly don't. In the last 24 hours, I've learned a great deal. Chamb3r, you know I am sometimes slow to change my mind. Stubborn in my ways. When one spends over 200 years thinking one way and suddenly hearing it from a different angle, it is tough to shift one's mindset. I personally think there might be greater threats out there and that someone is yanking your chain, but I don't know. I really don't.
Side note, switching topics just a quick second. Do you know how to use the flame in Wave Echo Cave? We were having some troubles with it.
Wow. Wow.
Bit of a segue there.
Well, once again, you are a bit out of my expertise. From the rumors and the tales that I've heard, you would know more about it than I have. So little is known about the flame within Wave Echo Cave. When Adrian told me what he did in a brief overview, I did a little bit of research just from my understanding, and there is some written from the days of Phandalin's pack back in 950 DR, back when the gnome and the wizards and the dwarves formed their pack to mine this out. Supposedly the riches equaled that of the magical prowess of that particular flame forge. Even then, from what I've read, they struggled to harness it. That it was extremely fidgety. It was prone to diminish at inopportune times. They found more value from the gemstones in the area themselves than what they could truly glean from this magical source. All I can say is be weary of areas of such strong magic as you found there. I have studied this for many years. The origins of magic and sources, and some location as powerful as that does not sit right with me. That is not natural in the ways of the world. I would be weary of being near that flame, quite personally. I wish I could tell you more about how it happened or why it happened.
Do you happen to know what it does to mythical tigers? Celestial tigers?
And for the first time, he is speechless as he stares at you in confusion.
Why don't you ask our friend Griswold what happens?
Don't. glancing at Grizz.
Bad things happen, man. That's
bad things would happen, I would expect, yes.
I'm gonna look at Calvin's and be like, I think there's a lot you can learn from me. I'd be willing to spend the next 6 to 12 months. I have a course you can take that would potentially help you. We could trade some information potentially.
And he's gonna stare at you momentarily, straight faced, before the first real grin that you've seen on his face occurs, slowly forming upwards, and you see the hint of teeth underneath before a deep chuckle is emitted. I would sit through that class.
I like this guy already.
So make sure you check your pockets before you leave, though.
Fair point.
I would caution anyone from reaching too deep into my pockets. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve as well.
Warwick, I think I'd like to see these tricks. Maybe you should try.
I wouldn't steal anything from your pockets. I'd just steal your heart. Give him a little wink.
Oh my god.
Make sure you have antibiotics.
I'm gonna look at Calgrim and say, Calgrim, I was thinking about it. We might be able to take a look into the giants and take care of Nasana at the same time. So if you remember correctly, well, no, you wouldn't have. Adrian would have. Whenever we fought her the first time and she mopped the floor with us, she was over near Luskin, which is on the coast. We travel that way, maybe hit up her lair, kick her ass, take the book, and then continue heading over to the coast. It's on the way.
Falling right back into this where she knows. I think we should take her. I think we should take her out of her own territory if we can.
I don't think going into her home turf is beneficial for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that once.
I could probably lure her out. I mean, the whole goal with this whole trade is I told her it would have to be her and I meeting face to face. So I'm pretty much a dead man anyway, so why not? I'm okay being bait.
I'm gonna also turn to my father and ask. The other thing we're looking for is the. Wait. What's it called?
Keep. Oh.
The Eye of the Allfather.
The Eye of the Allfather.
Do you think maybe perhaps there's a map in the map house that might have it marked?
There are many maps that I have not seen. I'll be honest, I have not spent a lot of time in the map house. Not my particular forte, but it is. I would not be surprised. This was an extremely prominent location at one time, particularly to giant folk, and goes back many millennia even. A temple such as that, such a strong source, I would be very surprised if we have not at some point or another been able to find documentation on it throughout the years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Diddle, do any of these items of Bowgentle speak to you? Any of them? I know you said there's some stuff laying around. The intent is there like a wand or anything crazy laying around that's like ding 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 ding? Siddle's like, oh shit.
Not at this moment. You glance at them, but no recognition comes over your face, Siddle. None of them seem to be anything more than just items on a table to you.
Can I do any checks or anything, or does that really make a difference?
You know what? Give me a general intelligence check.
Oh fuck!
What the hell happened to my character sheet? Oh, roll 20, you're really ruining the story here.
While you're doing that and you guys are staring, coming down the hallway, you see two other elderly gentlemen speaking. And you overhear bits and pieces of what they're talking about. You hear, I just can't believe they had the audacity to attack Waterdeep, of all cities. One so well fortified, and such an Lord's Alliance stronghold. I'm told the death toll was extraordinary. The other one, it is a shame to see so much death throughout the land. Of all times, never been happier to live in Silvery Moon under the protections of the Mythal as we are now. But even men are their own worst enemies. You see what happens in various towns, the murder, the killing, the tyrannical leadership like they have in Mirabar. The giants are but a minor threat. Men are their own worst enemy. And that will never change. And they continue walking past. Siddle, you look at this and it just... You try really hard. You get a little bit of a headache, actually. Deep down, there's... Your mind is telling you there's something there. It's like staring through a black curtain, opaque curtain. You can sense it on the other side, but despite your best efforts, you just can't get there to pull away the curtain. Sorry, Grizz, you were going to say something.
Do those two walk past us? Or do we just hear them?
Yeah, so you guys are in this hallway with this little, enclave there, and they're just kind of two guys just talking with each other, walking past behind you. So they're still, it just kind of just passed behind you, gave you a little nod as a hello, and continued making their way. But they're still in the vicinity.
Wait, excuse me, you said Waterdeep was attacked. What happened? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, I'm not as well versed. I just heard word, news was sent that Waterdeep was attacked by some unruly giant force. I guess 2 ships sailed upon it in the night, appeared in the fog, and they began bombarding the city with stone through catapults before coming aboard, destroying portions of the wall, slaughtering. It was supposedly chaos. Heard rumor it was the storm variety of the giant class. And he's gonna kind of look at you. Is that what the right terminology? The oversized class, the large ones. I apologize if I don't know quite what you prefer to be called. But the larger variety. No relation to you whatsoever, I'm sure. But supposedly they very specifically targeted men of the Lord's Alliance and killed without discrimination.
Oh
Before
boy.
fleeing.
Oh boy. Understood.
Last I heard, the death toll was approaching 1,000.
Wow.
While only a few of them were killed before they fled into the fog.
Here's my issue. Here's my thought. Going after the sauna and taking down the Kraken Society might just solve everything. We don't know. However, finding the Eye of the Allfather, we will be able to commune with Amon, and he will give us the answer to where we have to go, what we have to do.
We have to be worthy to talk to Amon, though. Agree. Amon would be great, but can we guarantee that we are worthy enough to do so? That is correct, Garrett, right? It isn't just a... I thought it was worthiness.
So you've heard? Perhaps that
Harshnag
was one of the rumors that you picked up at one point or another?
I mean, I think Harshnag's pretty pretty worthy.
I agree.
I mean, if anybody's worthy in this group, it's totally me. Where's the Eye of the Allfather located? And in what general vicinity? Region?
North. North, surrounded by dragons, more than likely.
It is up in Spine of the World, Ice Peak, somewhere around there.
So let me see if I can shift click you. Very north side of the map. Oh, roll 20 is lag. There we go. You should get the shift click now. Somewhere up in the Spine of the World, from what you're aware.
So would we have?
Which is a pretty large area, similar to like the Anarok Desert. But
would we have to go to Mirabar and then up through that way?
Possibly.
There are numerous ways to get there, supposedly.
Probably.
Amruk, how you feeling about a little venture into your neck of the woods?
See, Amruk's a little distracted looking at one of the images in the book still, and just it was in the book, right, G?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He kind of just looking at the images in the book, and he realizes you're talking to him. What's that?
What the? Is that book interesting? You see something you're familiar with?
I just have a feeling about it. I was going to ask about it, but you guys were talking. Do we know where this is?
What's that?
And you point to the painting that's on the book, though, the one that had the clash with the bestial creatures on it, the general ramblings of Bo Gentle. I don't believe I ever got where this is particularly from. It was asked once. I don't know if the answer will be helpful to you. I recall because it was very odd, and he just told us everywhere. Death will be everywhere. So that wasn't concerning by any means.
Alright, that's probably why I get the feeling. Anyway, Warwick, yeah. I think we have some sort of disguise ability. If that's the case, I'm fine with going to Mirabar.
We can. I think Fiddle may have disguised self, and
I think we picked up a hat or something.
I have a. Oh yeah, I do have a hat of disguise. That's right. I just got that.
Yeah, I think we decided the disguise self is only me.
Yeah, but we picked up an item pretty recently that
allows
you to.
Yeah, I do have a hat of disguise that I could give you. So yeah, we could maybe. I mean, Mirabar to the west, Luskin's to the west. I mean, maybe let's head up to Mirabar and then kind of see where we're at. If we're still on track to go to the Eye of the Allfather,
Let's head over to the map house and see if we can find it first.
Yeah.
Reed, Alfie, you guys been kind of quiet. Any thoughts on this?
What? I'm awake.
Althea slid into the shadows. You guys actually lost her for a second.
Yeah, no, I'm down to head to the map house.
The bathhouse.
Bathhouse, that too.
Yeah, you heard me right.
Yeah, buddy. I think I'm going to on our trek wherever we go. I think I'm going to take Osmaroth up on his offer to meet. Let's see if that can give us any more information and point us into the right direction. Here's what he asked. He essentially wanted to know where we were going to go next anyways. So can always tell him I want to meet up somewhere along our way to Mirabar and just happen not to mention where we're going.
Should we take a trip up to Samorvan Hall and see what the damage is up there? Or we skip that for now?
That's on our way. I'm sure we can. Right? Or were we thinking
Well,
about?
we can-
Depends on if
we
we
can tele-
teleport there.
We can
Just say,
we can
yeah.
we can teleport to Mirabar.
Can we? So if we go to Smorvin Hall, can we could still teleport to Mirabar, right?
No, the teleportation circle I thought was in Silvery Moon to go to Mirabar.
He could teleport us anywhere, right? If as long as
Yeah,
you
Well,
he went and learned all of the teleportation
that's right,
locations, so
that's
he can now go anywhere.
Okay.
I say let's go to Smorvin Hall. It shouldn't be that far away. It's what? It's about a little under 60 miles. Take what, a day to get there?
We don't have to. I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
waste the time if we don't think it's necessary.
Well, if
I
they
don't
were
know.
attacked.
I don't know. I think we're starting to get on a time crunch.
All right, skip it for now.
I mean, that's my opinion. I don't.
Well, how about this?
I
Are
mean,
we?
if they're attacking
So
water,
real quick, did I mention Morven Hall?
We found out that potentially the dragon above Morven Hall had been
Okay,
killed.
okay. I want to make sure I didn't
well.
misspeak and or misunderstand something from the conversation today.
Are we?
All good.
probably all we're going to probably find there is dragon carnage.
Are we looking to teleport today?
We could, but we could.
Oh
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
cast
it's
it one-
more okay.
I can cast it one more time.
I was thinking if we wanted to wait until tomorrow, I definitely wanted to get a replica of this relic made, and while we're in Silvery Moon, I can reach out to Osmaroth to see if he wants to meet tonight while we're in Silvery Moon. That way, at least we're all here. If
Coming
for
into
some
the
reason
city,
shit goes south.
coming into the city is going to be hard, isn't that correct, Adrian or Caldrum? Teleporting in for him is going to be.
I don't know if he's going to teleport in. He very well could meet me in some type of, form. I don't know. So I can at least offer it to him, and maybe if I step outside of the city walls and he wants to meet, I think at this point we're on a time crunch. It's a risk that I need to take.
I don't know about tonight. I would kind of like to regain some spells before we do that.
Before we teleport, or before I meet him?
Before you meet him.
Oh.
If that was your plan.
I don't think we're going to be fighting by any means.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if whoever I'm going to meet is going to meet me, they could kill me like that. I'm not sure there's anything any of us can do about it, to be honest with you. Weather report.
Better. Okay, take the second one for, and it's actually a little bit warmer. In Silvery Moon, I gave you one previously for where you were in Yartar. However, as you came here, it's actually fairly calm, and the weather is, while mostly cloudy, the temperature is actually about 68. It's surprisingly warm for this time of year in the Silvery Moon. Or to you, it's surprisingly warm. Caldrum, you're aware that this is a common thing. Silvery Moon is often warmer than the rest of the area. The Mythal tends to protect it from cold weather and holds it like a heat bubble.
All right. Let's take a trip over to the map house.
Be clear.
Okay.
As you do so,
I will.
your father is going to momentarily hold back. He's gonna grab Amrock. Good sir, can I borrow you for but one moment?
Just look around, make sure there's no concern look in anyone's faces, and of course.
Please, I think I can have something of benefit to you. In particular, you remind me of someone I once knew. He's gonna kind of just deftly walk you away from the rest of the group, speaking quietly. Do you want this kind of a conversation here, or jump to a side room? Your call.
You know what? Let's do it here. I mean,
Yes.
You're gonna see Warwick's face, and Warwick's gonna look absolutely jealous, like super jealous.
All right, in that case, let's go to the other room. Fuck that.
All right, to the other room then.
Oh
Don't fucking do
no.
that.
They're very angry right now, which I love. He's gonna pull you aside, Amrook. I have spent many years in a classroom. I have taught things, and I've recognized when students do not recognize what I'm speaking about. I've seen that dead look in people's eyes that they don't quite connect the dots. However, I've also seen the other look, one in which they see more than I teach. I saw that look in you as we were speaking there. Is there anything I can answer for you? Or may I ask, is there anything you need? I worry about my sons and those that he entrusts, and his life is entrusted too. I just want to be sure all is well with you.
As far as I know, there might be times in which we won't say I lose control, but I try and tap into something and it could go south, but it's kind of what that picture I was pointing to remind me of. Is there any chance that might be connected to, forgive me, where's the place we raided?
That you raided.
To recover the treasure that was in.
I'm trying to remember if we tied it down and we said it was up in the far the east of Mirabar. We'll come back to whatever that town was. Hold on, actually, let me see if I have the notes real quick. No, I don't have it.
The stream right now. Hi, Eric.
What's that?
I said I hope Eric's watching the stream right now.
Oh, he'll come back and watch it. We'll come back on that town. It could be. I wish I knew more about this location, and now I know it's of interest to you. I thought of it little more as an artist's portrait before of a madman trying to express his inner madness. Perhaps we all should have given it more thought for a while. I can see what I can find about it.
I think there was more to this madness than meets the eye here. I think bits and pieces throughout all of his drawings and ramblings seem to have connections to things that come to fruition. I don't believe in that many coincidences. I noticed the rod in that picture, and I can tell you that's real.
And his eyes suddenly blaze with an interest. I don't speak to the rest of the group, but I don't believe in that many coincidences either. I'm afraid I may have spent centuries overlooking the obvious and not giving something its due diligence, and I now fear that I may be partly responsible for my ignorance, and that I should have done more for my colleague back then. But you most were just my gut feel. You tell me you know that rod. You think it's real?
More than think, friend. We came upon a treasure, and the Marchion, from what I understand, still has that rod.
Still exists. It's there. How long ago was this? Was it recent?
Decade.
Was it
within the last
that's
decade?
Recent. This image was drawn over 250 years ago. And you're sure it's the same?
I could give you proof, but I don't think we should do it with just you and I.
Oh, and he's going to glance around. I agree. You've given me cause for concern, and Seems
Why are you
let's
concerned
do some
about
more
that
research.
rod? What power does it hold? What do his ramblings talk about it?
He doesn't mention that rod at all, and that's the concerning thing. It just exists there. Thought it was little more than an artist's decision. But when you see an image like that of death, destruction, of thousands of armies battling, of this demonic, evil, undead, bestial presence, as an artist's interpretive work, it's, average at best. But when suddenly a few intricate, nuanced details of that portrait start to become verified, that becomes a serious concern.
And do me a
I
favor,
don't know what to
find
think
out what
yet.
you can about that rod and send me a message. I don't think we're going to be able to stop the rest of the group from moving forward.
I will do exactly that. I appreciate you confiding in me. I know we don't know each other, but if my sons have trusted you, I do as well. I will let you know what I can find. And you see a look of concern on his face that you haven't seen in the last few hours as you've talked, and a deep thought behind his eyes. All right.
Do me a
Anything
favor.
else?
Let's fuck with Warwick a little bit. When next time we're in eyesight, just give me a hug and watch his face.
Understood. I'm happy to do so.
That's it for me.
And all right, and we'll slowly start making our way back to the group. We'll jump into the room.
All right.
Okay, we gotta.
Yeah, I could just kind of do it for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, Keegan, can you mute the stream?
Yeah, me now.
I don't like hearing myself via speakers, actually.
So as
What I do?
these two have separated themselves from the group and they slowly make their way back, and you see an unreadable expression on both of their faces. And as they get close to the group, you see Aranel pause for a moment, turn to Amrook, and despite the height difference, he's going to kneel down and just embrace Amrook with a hug that is more shows a closeness that not even he had with Keldrum in his first approach. It is
Just embrace
familiarity.
it right back.
I'm gonna look at
like the
Amrook.
full-on pat on the back and everything.
I'm gonna look at Amrook and say, "How many fingers?"
Okay, okay.
You know.
And with that, he's going to go and
Warwick,
what's up?
You're going to look over at Warwick. Warwick's going to be just jotting stuff down in his notebook. Nonstop. He's going to be going to town. Not even paying attention.
And so they return to the group. You guys, once again, all together. You said you wanted to head over to the map room next?
Yeah, we want to go to mapquest.com.
MapQuest, yeah.
Aranel is going to look at Caldrum.
We're gonna print out 15 pages.
You weren't the most diligent of students, but I assume you still recall your way there.
Oh, I know.
Caldrum, I mean, may be so bold. Try and stay out of trouble this time.
I try.
And he's gonna give a little smirk, and then
is Sis in town, or she out on one of her patrols?
She is out at the moment, but she should be due back within the next few days if you would like to stay behind. I'm happy to cook tonight if your group would like to stay.
No, just send her. Tell her I said hey.
I will absolutely do so. He's going to come over, and you're going to see a softening of the eyes in his face that you haven't quite seen. A look of concern, but also fondness. And he is going to embrace you, Galtrum, and be safe, son. Please be safe.
I will.
It was a pleasure to meet each and every one of you. I have a great deal of work to do. Thank you for reigniting an old man's interest. It's been a long while since I've been so stimulated.
Please never say that again.
Mentally stimulated.
No, not better.
Ryan, he's only 552 years old.
That doesn't make it better.
I've not been so stimulated without the proper medication in a great deal of time.
Would you say you're Abrahamic?
That's not better.
He didn't say that. That's not what he said. I bid you adieu. With that, he's going to turn and begin marching away.
Is French a real language in 5e?
It's French? No, not really.
No, I don't
Is it in
believe
real life?
so, but I would imagine that some language takes inspiration from it, and there would be some crossover.
Okay. I was going to say, you bid me a what?
What is Grizz's word for activating his sword?
Clearly, Chamb3r. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So clearly, there's some French influence. There's
That just sounds like hogwash from Griswold.
there's
haven't
the
seen
obvious
him use
town of Quebecal that has certain influences that are different from the surrounding area.
I don't think we've heard that to bring Grizz's his weapon out in Grizz's accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grizz.
Because I don't know if I could fucking do that. I don't know if I could do that.
Let's give it a shot right now. We'll wait.
Oh, practice.
So we're heading over to that map house, huh? I can't light the halberd here. It'd be
Yeah,
terrible.
we can walk and talk. Don't worry.
I get in trouble. I'm doing that out of respect for the university. That's all.
Listen, the magic's fine.
Griswold's like, I can't pull it out right now. I don't want to.
Did we just talk about that?
Yeah. So Griswold isn't stimulated, is what you're telling me?
No, not yet. I don't want to offend anyone.
Talk to Caltrum's dad, you'll be stimulated.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, the map house.
All right, as you guys head over to the map house, Caltrum, you were called away pretty handily. You
Handily.
and we're at that point of the night. You approach and you, as you enter this room, you've been to many libraries. However, the true scope of this is immense. Not in the way a normal library would. You've seen just large libraries before. However, what amazes you is not a single book is present. You see scrolls as far as the eye can see, rack upon rack, shelf upon shelf of nothing but scrolls everywhere. There are a few tables with a few that are laid out and unrolled. Students from appearance, examining it closely across the board. But the number of maps of this map room is truly astounding to you and beyond the scope of what you expected. And as you enter, you see this abnormally tall but dwarf-like female wearing a brown costume of sorts with symbols of strength on her torso. Her whole body is exceptionally muscular, a flat top haircut, green eyes, lackadaisically let the world flow into them, and a youthful presence on her face as she stoutly moves her way over to you with a non-graceful air about her as she does so. I am Helgrit. What can I do for you in the map room?
Looking for... First, we're looking for a map that...
Then you have come to the right place. We have map. Would you like me to pick one randomly?
Say map. Um,
back.
uh, no, we're looking for the location of the uh, Eye of the Allfather.
The Eye of the Allfather. Oh, I had hoped to be challenged today, and you have chosen to do so.
We know it's somewhere in the spine of the world.
So the rumors say. Hmm. She's gonna kind of look around and point at all these shelves. We have many maps. These are not the ones you need. You want the very old maps. I don't believe that they've even been cataloged yet. Follow me. And she's going to lead you through a couple aisleways of these just floor to ceiling racks of maps on the left and right. Only fairly narrow. You have to go through it single file. You pass through the first one, cross over a little aisleway into another, or the walkway through another set of aisleways, and you see an old wooden, fairly solid door with no entry sign on the front of it. And she's gonna wave you in, unlock it, bring you with her. And as you enter, you go through an initial room, what appears to be some type of uh, perhaps a cleaning and cataloging room. You see various tools. You see it's a very clean room, precision instruments, lots of tables set up around, a couple people working on some very old maps. Come with me. She's going to go through that. There's a second wooden door there that she unlocks and brings you guys through as you pass through this room. And as you enter there, you enter an area that is beyond just new building. It almost appears as an older stone room, not quite a crypt, but some type of. It's almost built into a stone, a stone cave, with not nearly as many maps. This one stands only about 20 foot by 20 foot. There's a large, it's still packed floor to ceiling. They're not nearly as well cataloged or organized, and they seem to be a bit dusty. And you see some areas that there are gaps pulled out of it, like they're slowly working their way through it. This is our oldest maps. We have not yet cataloged everything. These have been delivered in some cases recently, in some cases a while ago, and we were understaffed. I think there are. One of these may contain what you need. There are a few possibilities. Do you recall when the Eye of the Allfather was lost?
Do I?
You had heard it once before from the blah, 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 what's his name?
Harshipu?
Yeah, thank you. Harshnag. He had mentioned that it's been lost for centuries. Sometime long after the battle between the giants and the dragons, it was the exact entrance was. So it's been at least probably 1,000 years on a current timeline since it's been known. So passing this over to her. Oh, this is very old. It would be on this shelf, and she's going to go over, and you see about 70, 80 maps that are scrolled in there. That general timeline is all put here, but we haven't looked at it yet, so I can't tell you which one. Do you have some time on your hands? And do you have any skill in handling old documents?
I do, yes.
Ah, excellent. Does anybody else, one of you going through these documents may take some time?
You really want Griswold to do that?
I'm just curious if anybody has any capabilities that would apply to this.
I probably could.
Yeah. I would not.
Siddle, you said you think you do?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that you were proficient in that. All right. You should be able to get through it in a good 4 or 5 hours, unless you get lucky. Do you need anything? I shall leave you here.
In exchange for this information, hey Grizz, do you want to show her your map?
Yes. I will take out the cartographer's map that we got in Tribor, I think it was. I can't remember. And it shows all of the fissures. Oh, the one that Captain Edford also scribbled
What
on.
are all these places you have marked here? This seems like a fairly new map. We have plenty like this, but I don't recognize these locations.
Sir, these are the fissures. I'm not sure if you heard of them, but
The fissures?
fissures.
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 What are these fissures doing?
Great evil pops up from these fissures. Just kidding. I say it appropriately.
Evil fissures?
Evil fissures. Evil pops up. It's a crack in the earth. Think of dimension from hell, per se. Literally.
That sounds interesting. Yes, I would like a copy. May we temporarily borrow this and make a duplicate?
How long will that? I'm assuming that's a rather quick thing, correct?
Yes, we should be able to have it done in no more than 2 hours if we focus on it right now, and it sounds like it is important.
Sure. Yes, that's fine.
All right, thank you. And she's going to take it from you. If you need me, just ask for Helgrit.
Great.
Oh,
Like her. I kind of like
Best
her.
of luck in your search. Please be gentle.
Well,
And she's going to take your map and I'll walk out. And you hear her in the next room talking to a couple of the men that were in there that were doing some work and describing that this is a priority, drop what they're working on, work on this one, copy it over. Something about evil fissures.
Anal fissures. Oh, just kidding.
And you guys begin making your way through this pile of maps here, and Citadel and Caldron primarily are doing all of the work. And as you open them up, you start to see a number of very old maps in one form or another that detail a number of different things. Each one seems to have a different focus. Citadel and Caldron, can you each give me? Let's go with an either investigation or a history check as you're reading through these maps. Your choice.
Man, what a crap roll.
Oh,
before I do, I'm going to clutch my symbol to Mistra, and I will ask for her guidance. New cantrip in
Nice.
Researching these. So that's that, and then
There you go.
hold on. $27.
Caldron and Citadel, you begin looking through these maps. Citadel, these are very old, not always well labeled, but you don't always know what they detail. However, you are simply fascinated by them. After the first few, you've forgotten what you're actually looking for and are just enthralled by the information provided. You see trade routes, you see areas of mining from thousands of years ago, you see battle plans and military maps of how battles went out. You see areas of ice flow and ideal fishing locations from 1,000 years ago. You've now just gone to looking at the maps just to learn, and you forget what you're looking for entirely, and don't even and aren't even looking for the notes up in the spine of the world.
This is
luckily,
so interesting. Yeah.
Caldrum, luckily you've maintained focus here, going through them, and you are turning through them with a very, very focused intent. And you get through about 24 of them, all of which are frustratingly boring or innate to you and aren't covering the information you need, before you come upon one that seems to strike some luck. It has little to do with what you're looking for. It's actually details of what appear to be maps of a battle that occurred long ago in the Silver Marches, that date to around 1,200 years previous to this. And it has some different movements of troops and some notes and some deaths on them. However, you notice in the upper markings on the spine of the world a small notation of a location. Someone included it just for the accuracy of the map overall. However, it seems very specific in its locale. And as it does so, as everyone goes to the map, it points you to a spot right here with a small notation: the Eye of the Allfather.
Is that also not Klaus' domain?
So Cloudland Vale is over here.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
okay.
the red dragon. Yeah.
So covering that area. So this is fairly unmarked. You know it's the Valley of Kedron, but that's about all you know of it. At this particular point, anyways. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. No reason, no mines up that way. No, it's almost just unexplored, untouched land. No reason for anyone to go there, which now kind of makes sense that for so long it's gone untouched.
I will find another piece of parchment, put it over top of it. I'm gonna. How can I do this? No. I'm going to find a book, a large book, and I'm going to cast light on the book, on the top of the book.
Well,
Okay.
tracing table. Nice.
I'm going to put the map on top of that, so light shines up. I'm going to take another piece of parchment. I'm going to use it to trace and make my own little map of that area.
All right, you're able to do a pretty impressive job with this as you trace over it. Cyril, you don't notice any of this. You notice that in the map that you're looking at, the Evermoors at one time were a massive lake inland and has some incredible fishing in areas to the northwest as well as the southeast. Apparently, high levels of fish were available and supplied a large amount of the food for the vicinity.
You know, I have always wanted to take up fishing.
And with that, you're able to copy over the location. Caldrum,
We got a location.
Nice.
you believe you found the Eye of the Allfather. And I would say with that, let's end it there. And we will pick up there next week.
You know we're not going to the Eye of the Allfather next week, right?
I'm well aware.
We're going east.
We're going east.
We're going to Candlekeep, southwest. Fuck it. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Awesome session. I hope I gave you enough to dwell on for the course of this week, and just enough to frustrate.
Oh, I'm excited. Warwick's going to totally fuck up the entire plan.
Warwick's always sexually frustrated.
I mean, after that older lady took care of me, nah.
Feel pretty good right now? You're good?
I'm good for a couple weeks.
So, Keegs, what did Amrook and Keldrum's father have to say?
I'll go ahead and end the stream real quick, and then you guys.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all. See you next week.
Yeah.